4th. Welcome back. Tony Denaro live. Massalorian should be joining us in a few minutes. Quick mic check. Make sure you guys can hear me. Let me know in the chat. Stephen, good evening. Bell Biv, good evening. Dallas T, Duke of Wall Street, Gorilla Gardner. Who else we got in here? Mike, bruh. I'm just taking a look at the futures. It was, as you guys know, another green day. Futures are slightly red at the moment. We'll have to see what tomorrow has to bring, but we're going to talk about everything that went on today in the markets. And just real quick, let me put up. Let's see. U.S. markets today, all of the major indexes closed up. Dow 2.8%, NASDAQ and S&P over 3% each. Gold at 1730, oil at 86.27, the 10-year Treasury 3.6%. And the big news of the day in the markets, besides some of the travel stocks, cruise and casinos being up, obviously is Elon Musk and Twitter. I'm sure you guys heard about that. Twitter was halted a good portion of the day. And then we got the official notice that Elon said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take the deal. I'm going to take door number one, Johnny. Johnny, show him what he won. Steven says, get me a beer. Yeah, grab your drinks, guys. I got a little bit of the Woodford Reserve tonight. I guess we apparently we finished off the Miller Lite last night. So Scarlett is at the store bringing me some surprise. She asked what I wanted. I said, your lady's choice. So Sam, I am. Good evening. James, good evening. Charks, what's going on? Junior says, let's have 2 months like today, right? I'd be happy if we could, finish a week like this. So either this is really up for debate, and I want to hear what you guys think. Is this a bull trap? Is there some hidden Fed update coming out that hasn't been publicly disclosed, but, behind closed doors, the big guys on Wall Street already got the notice? Or I saw some people posting on Twitter today, plunge protection team trying to protect Credit Suisse and all of the hedge funds. What do you guys think? Shadow Girl, thank you. Built, sorry. Good evening. Oktoberfest. Yeah, I had some Oktoberfest this weekend when we were watching the football game. Wonderful. Bear market rally on Fed pivot talk, Jersey. That's I think that is probably my leading theory. I'm open to see what happens. I was surprised when I woke up and saw green today, but happy to see it. Sam says, propping up the market till the midterms. Bull trap only if Adam Aaron sells. Are they going to freeze the rate hike? I think that was kind of what people are thinking in back rooms, that in order not to have bonds crash the market, maybe the Fed's going to come out this week and say, we're going to take a pause, or we're not going to go quite as strong on the next interest rate hike. And it's because, we see the job market's cooling off, blah, blah, blah. You saw those headlines today, right? All the companies laying off, slowing down hiring. It might have been the gold hat. Yes, that's why I wore it to sleep. I'm going to wear it until we get a red day. Wore it in the shower this morning. Scat, what's going on? Musky Doge going on strike until we bring Scarlett back. I'll see if she'll come on tonight. I think everything is going according to their plan, Belviv says. Yeah, so what I want to convey to you guys is I saw in our Discord today some people cashed out some of their call options. They were up and in some cases 100, 200%. Good call on cashing out. Never be scared to take money. My Highcroft call options that I bought, the January 2025s, those were up 85% today. I just bought those not even a couple days ago. I did not sell yet. Obviously, I've got plenty of time. And I want to see if this market, Green Days, has a few more legs on it. But if I get up over 100%, I'll probably sell those and then wait for the next inevitable red week and rebuy them again. William says, I can guarantee they're not letting the markets work freely. Yep. Stephen, they tried to tell Powell to stop raising rates, and he said no. That's why things are going up. What are my thoughts heading to Friday? I was a little bit suspicious about the run up yesterday. I'm even more suspicious now, but you know what they say, never look a gift horse in the mouth. Pam, what's going on? I will tell Scarlett hello for you when she comes in. She's grabbing us some cerveza. So I want to talk about real quick a couple of the other momentum plays. Some of you guys are in. Just touch briefly on those. I'm sure it'll come up on questions later in the stream. But just to touch base on GTII, Finger, AVCT, all of these momentum plays, I'm going to continue saying what I have been telling you guys on those. These are momentum plays. No problem playing them if you get in early. Once you get ahead, take your money off the table and play on the house money. So you're doing it safe. I literally heard a guy live streaming GTII today saying his top end price target on this OTC pink sheet stock was $7,000. I shit you not. And that's what this is the type of clickbait nonsense that I want to be here to call out. I have no problem with you guys playing momentum plays. I played them too. But we got to separate reality and locking in good profits from being sucked into something too late based on these hopium type price targets. So we had someone in the Discord got in Finger at $4, got out after hours at the top at $10. That's what I want to see you guys doing. Make safe money and get the F out, because these things are going to have a lot of volatility. And once you see the price coming down and the volume coming down, despite what you're hearing on YouTube, it's more than likely over. These these companies that you know nothing about, that have no real business. So play them, but play them smart. AERC, yes, I saw they have a merger with another company. What's it called? Molecule, something like that. And they've had a good 2-day run. Yes, T. Raiden, $7,000. He said my pie in the sky price target is $7,000, but I think it can reasonably hit $700. Those were his exact words. Options for beginners, Mike. I have some options training videos on my YouTube channel. There's a playlist. Go check those out. And once I get enough views on those and we get some momentum going in the free training playlist, and I'll make some more. But in general, if you're a beginner, stick with call and put options and try and get them preferably 60 to 90 days out to give yourself time to be wrong. And also not to get hit with the theta decay. G Immortal says, what is my opinion on crypto? I have kept the bulk of my crypto, G Immortal. I sold a couple of very small random positions I had that were in Coinbase when I pulled everything out of Coinbase. But I'm still buying. dollar cost averaging. I'm not going to make the same mistake I made years ago of not adding to crypto. There could be some more downside in crypto. So I don't want to mislead you on that, but I don't think crypto is done. And so I'm sticking with the big cryptos. And I've been flirting with the idea of doing some swing trading on some of the smaller ones, the momentum trades, just like we do with the momentum stocks. If you see something that people are talking about on YouTube, take advantage of that with your advanced knowledge of momentum trading and take advantage of those swings. You don't need to listen to the people that are telling you that they're going to ridiculous price targets in a bear market, but you can capitalize on that momentum and then watch the chart, follow the chart, and take reasonable profits, rinse, and repeat. I'm not buying XRP, Ellie. So I just want to touch base real quick on CBDC. Not a popular opinion, but based on everything the Fed is saying, I mean, if you even believe they can pull it off, I don't think that we're going to be seeing a CBDC before 2025. I see all the videos, you know, they're setting you up to steal all your money next year. I don't see it. I don't see it because of the implications of a central bank digital currency to the banking system, the way that banks loan out money. And if everything moved to a central bank digital currency, our complete banking system would collapse. So they got a lot of thinking to do, and our government is just not efficient in running things, period. So I think we're a long way off, despite what the hypesters think on YouTube. I'm not on board with that. Are we going that direction? Yes. Am I happy about it? Not really. But I think at some point, moving to some digital currency is inevitable. I don't think it's anywhere near as quickly as people thought. And, you know, years ago, I said the same thing about fleets of driverless cars, and people said I was crazy. But I just think people they give too much credit to these companies or these government agencies of being able to quickly implement complex things. Alan, I'll bet you a bottle of whiskey, July of 2023. If you just tell me what price range you want to bet, and that you agree for the bet, and we'll touch base in July. Just Another Pothead says, what are my thoughts on Australia easing the rate hike? I did not see the news about Australia. Once Massalorian gets in here, I'll look that up. But as far as XRP goes, I like XRP. I held it in 2021, and then I sold it because it wasn't doing anything. There are rumors that XRP could either be integrated with, or maybe the backbone or the model for a central bank digital currency. And I think there's some legitimacy to that. Whether or not the US government would leverage XRP or leverage the model of it, I don't know. I'm not going to go heavy in XRP, but I might start adding some in back into the portfolio. It's not going to be the main currency that I hold. But I don't have anything negative to say about it. The only reason I sold it a year plus ago was because it wasn't doing anything. Barry says the government is incapable of running anything except the country into the ground. I'll drink to that. Whew. All right. A couple of other stocks. So I was very happy. I know you guys can't see this. Let me see if I can. not letting me move the window. Uh, 180 days to get over $1 for 10 consecutive trading days. After 180 days, which would be around April 2nd, April 3rd, then they can apply for an extension. They get, I think, another 180 days. So Highcroft's got to come out with some good news in the next 6 to 12 months, or they will be looking at doing a reverse split. Sam says Mass is on, but I don't see him. No, he's not on here. He's got to join the stream. Is he on his channel? He was in here and he said he was having some technical difficulties. He was going to try and get sorted and then join back up. William, am I still interested in Phantom? Yes, I still have all of my Phantom. Absolutely. All of these smaller cryptos, I think, are, we're going to need to see Bitcoin moving back up to 50, 60,000 to get momentum on these again. So it's just a waiting game. If it's in the top 50, I don't think the crypto is going anywhere. Let's also look at Pfizer real quick. Still hanging in the $44 range. Costco only up 1.75% today. When do you think the bottom of crypto will be? So if there is a market crash this year, then I think that the crypto crash will happen with it. If if the stock market is crashing and they need liquidity to shore up their positions, these big institutions, they are going to raid their crypto purse to shore up anything that they need in the stock market. Other than that, I don't really see any, real catalyst to drive crypto down unless big money pulls out. Retail is holding crypto. It's going to be the big guys that start a crash, or somebody in Asia. DevStat says, changing my legal name to Ukraine so I can get off tax brackets and get free money. So, yes, everybody send money to Ukraine, please. What do you guys think about Elon Musk getting the wrath of Ukraine over his tweet the other day? After all he's done to help them, and then he sends out a tweet trying to avoid nuclear war. All of a sudden, Ukraine became fair weather friends. They turned on him real quick. Any news from Tokyo? Are you talking about the missile crisis? I haven't heard anything new. Pam, I saw your dinner photo on Twitter. That looked delicious. Do I think the Fed will pivot to a lower rate hike to appease the UN? I don't think that the Fed specifically is going to take the UN in. I saw many people calling for them to slow down, but I think that they could cave to pressure from phone calls from BlackRock, Citadel, the people that are inviting them out to the Hamptons. Prometheus, what's going on? James, are silver stocks a good idea? So when I look at gold and silver, James, I have invested in them in the past, not anytime recently, probably not even in the last decade. But if I was going to be buying metals right now, I would be buying EFTs like GLD when it is at a 5-year low. All right, Massalorian, you good? I see him in the back room there. Okay, let's bring him in. I personally, if I'm looking at gold and silver as a investment, I don't want to be buying it while they're still relatively high. I would like to buy them. If you look back 5-6 years on the chart, find the low, and then that's the point that I would consider. And then that's like a 10-year hold, because gold and silver have these cycles. And because they are mostly so boring is why I don't buy them. But I have no problem with anyone holding them. That's a lifetime trade. What's going on? Mic check, Massalorian?
You got me audio? Check.
Yeah. Yep. All right, we hear you.
Do you want me to fix this so that I don't look like a midget?
I mean, that's up to you. I can lower my chair a little bit.
I could maybe raise mine.
Barry's asking, which is better to hold, real silver or silver stocks or real silver? I don't like. Well, let me just say, if you're buying physical gold or physical silver, nothing wrong with that. Some people like that for the security of having it just in case shit hits the fan. And if that is your primary goal, then I say knock yourself out. But just recognize you're paying a premium, typically, sometimes 10%, to get physical gold and silver. And then you're usually paying a premium on the back end, not quite as much. So you're going to need to overcome that on any run up in the asset when you go to sell. So for that reason, I'm not buying gold and silver for in case shit hits the fan. I've got guns and ammo for that. I would buy it for myself just for an investment and a hedge against the market crash. But even, I don't know, Massalorian, what do you think? Seems like the hedge of gold and silver against market crashes has become less compelling since the advent of crypto.
That, and somehow they've been able to suppress the price of gold and keep it around this 1,800 mark, and silver at $20 to $25 for the last 20 years. How is it that silver hasn't gone up at all? All the ways that we need silver and how we're depleting our silver reserves, you would imagine it would have some kind of monetary upward spike in the price. And for the last 15 years, silver is still between $20 and $25 an ounce. I keep buying. Anytime
I gotta think
below
that
20.
Someone's got a whole warehouse full of this shit, and
be.
they're just stockpiling it and not telling us about it. And when the price gets high, they release a little bit in, and the price is getting suppressed, like you said.
Yeah, because everyone and their mother would be jumping into physical commodities if that was the case. If it was really a great hedge, then it would be a no-brainer. Every time we heard any kind of word about something happening in the market, people would immediately run to precious metals. And because of that stagnant price, I think it has kept people away from it for years now. Years. I continue, like I said, yeah, I mean, I know. Like I said, when it dips below $20, I try to pick up physical silver. I've talked about this before. Krugerrands, Maple Leafs, Pandas, anything I can get my hands on. And when it falls below 20, I think that's a bargain, because silver is only gonna become more of a necessary commodity as we go forward with technology. Silver's used in so many things. I mean, it's, I don't know. I just think it's being suppressed.
Like having the physical silver and gold is something cool to like pass on to your kids. Like you buy the physical, it gives you that satisfaction of having, but then you got to worry about properly securing it in case of, theft or burglary. But if you got all that on lockdown, maybe there comes a day where you decide to sell it at a profit, or maybe it's just something you pass down to the next generation, and in enough time it's going to appreciate theoretically.
Here's the one thing I would recommend, and this would be my only recommendation when it comes to physical. Numismatic value is going to matter less when it comes to shit hitting the fan. So whether you have some old mercury dimes, or one of the coins that Jesus supposedly held up with Tiberius Caesar on it, no matter what, I don't think the numismatic value is going to matter as much when shit hits the fan. So don't worry so much about what type of silver you're buying, what the coins are. Are they 2,000 years old or from 10 days ago? They just come off the press. The physical aspect of it, the only thing I would say is stay away from markups from numismatic value. Just having it from, as long as it's printed and minted from a country that you're aware of and isn't Ukraine, you should be fine.
Yeah, I heard a long time ago, I heard Richie talking about some collector's gold coins or something that he bought. And I'm like, he paid double or triple the spot price because of it was a collector's item. But, the reality is no one's going to give you that price. That's just basically a scam unless you really got something rare that another collector wants. And if it comes down to a time of need where you need to trade that in for cash, you're going to get the spot price.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. No matter how old the coin is.
Yeah.
And like we said, like I saw someone say tobacco, guns, and ammunition. Silver and gold have held their respective values throughout the history of human civilization. I don't think that will change as we go into the future. If anything, I think that it's not such a bad thing. If you were to hold some like junk silver, you can always use that in bartering. And I say that, but I mean trading. That's my mother's word, bartering, but trading. If you were to trade for something, I think it would still hold its value.
Also, I think if you were in a country that was in a hyperinflationary state, or you were worried about hyperinflation, gold and silver would also be useful, or cryptocurrency. But we're, you know, we're not in a country like that, at least not yet. Doesn't mean that we won't. So, you know, it's never maybe a bad idea to have some. You just got to understand the risks of holding physical versus there's a lot of pumping that goes on gold and silver. The amount of people a year ago that told me it was going over 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 was every day coming in my chat, pumping gold. And I was like, nope, I'm not going to bite. And then, a couple days later, that's when it started sliding back down. The higher it gets, the more people pump it, just like anything else.
I want to say this, that after 08, I think in the year from, September of 08, when we had the crash, till September of 09, the highest we got in silver price was somewhere around $45 in a pinch. So that's what you can expect with this economy that we're in right now. That might be the highest. You might be able to double your money on coins right now, or spot silver, or physical silver. But a lot of people think that it's not a wise thing to hold, and some people don't have vaults or locks or lock boxes or security deposit boxes. Is that what they're still called? Security deposit boxes that they have in the banks?
Safe deposit box.
Safe deposit boxes. Thank you. I remember when I was a little kid, man, going with my father to safe deposit boxes to look at the coins. So I've been in the coins for a long time. And that's why I think I've always had my eye on the silver price. But if I bought silver back in 2009, after the crash, I would actually be down 50% right now in 2022. Imagine when silver's in the highest demand as it's ever been. Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. It's nuts.
And if shit hits the fan, is it going to be open? Is it going to be looted? Or is anyone even going to be there to open the safe deposit box? I'd rather have it on my, in my residence, but you got to have a safe, or, a carefully hidden safe. I think
you could put a sign up behind you that says "Play like a champion today," and behind it you could put a hole in the wall, just not filling in. You could hide things there.
What's up, Grandpa? Proud Ma. Good evening. Slick Rick, LA 1796 Patriot. Good evening.
Sorry I was late. I don't know what happened. I just overloaded my whole USB port. I had to pull everything out. Then I lost the keyboard. Then I lost audio. Last night, everything ran fine. I sat down and recorded for like 6 hours last night. Everything ran fine. I come on tonight. As soon as I turn my computer on from walking in the door, the USB port said overloaded. Do you know how I can fix that, Tony? You can only have so many USB ports hooked up to your computer, correct? Before it overloads.
Get a USB hub.
That's what I have. That's what got overloaded. It's got like 7 ports.
Well, I don't know. I mean, USB is designed to have ports, to have hubs. So maybe you have an inexpensive USB hub.
That might be it. That might be it. I think that only cost me $15. That's probably what my problem is.
Yeah, I just, with the recent updates I did to the studio here, I just maxed out all of my USB ports, and I have a bunch on the back of this box. So if I add one more camera, I was looking at testing out a couple of little monitor mounted $70 cameras instead of spending $2,000 on another Sony. Just so, if I'm looking at the chart, it doesn't, I don't have to keep doing this, but I need to buy a USB hub. So I started looking into it again in the past couple days, but there definitely are cheap ones and good ones. So your computer should be able to handle multiple USB hubs.
Yeah, Matthew just said you might need a powered USB port. That's probably what I need, right?
That was the recommendation. I didn't want to say that online because I don't want to talk about shit I don't know. But every web page I looked at said you probably want a powered USB hub or a hub with some powered ports.
Yep. Matthew. Thanks, Matthew. That's probably what I'll end up doing tomorrow. I'll order one of those for myself. That's probably why I keep having this issue. Every time I go to plug in like the external USB drive where I've been porting everything over from the old computer, anytime I go to hook up anything extra, even the lights right now, I had to cut down one of the lights just because I can't run both of them right now on this. So we'll hopefully we'll get it fixed out tonight after I get off. See what I can do. Move some things around. How's everyone doing, by the way, in the chat tonight? Everyone okay with the market today? People feeling good? What's going on?
Unless you were in a couple tickers, today was a fantastic day.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask your thoughts because you weren't here when we were going over some of the possible scenarios about why the market's been running the past couple days. Do you have any leading theories? The options that I covered as potential were a bull trap or a legit bull run based on maybe some undisclosed Fed news coming out about pulling back on rates. Or I've also seen people attribute it to the plunge protection team to protect all the banks. So do you like one of those, or do you got another idea?
I think that people, and especially the finance world of the United States, has just gotten over bad news way too quickly. It's just out of sight, out of mind. It's the couple days leading up to bad news. The bad news hits, we see a tank, and then the market comes right back. It's never a sustained thing. I mean, the market is cyclical, but this, to me, this feels like a massive rug pull. I don't know. To me, just because of everything going on right now. I don't know if I showed you this picture. Let me see if I get, I probably can't get it up on my TV screen right now behind me, but I took a picture yesterday from inside a super Walmart. There was absolutely no beef on the shelf at all. Completely bare. Steaks, hamburgers. The only thing they had was frozen meat.
Wow.
I think that we're about to come into a crunch this winter that it's going to be unprecedented, especially with what just happened with what's going on in Europe right now. I think a lot of people are going to be in hurting financial situations. And I think right now the market is kind of ignoring all that. Just listening to what the guy from Wharton said the other day about Jerome Powell. I mean, they're going to slash unemployment. They're going to do all these things to cool off right now. And the thing is now, so we put all those people in unemployment. I don't understand how that seems like we're making the situation worse. And I know some companies have to cut back in order to make profits, but they are making record profits right now, record profits. So I saw that Facebook might be laying off as much up to 12,000 people. I just think that we're in for a rude awakening whenever the market does get itself in the correct order.
I was wondering if maybe, the Fed is looking at these layoffs and cutbacks in hiring and saying, maybe they are thinking that plus the credit squeeze and other unforeseen consequences of raising the rate so fast. Maybe they are kind of like letting people know, hey, we're gonna say that we're gonna cut back on our plan, at least for the next month.
They might.
Update.
Leading up to the midterms, I wouldn't put it past anything for this administration to go around and be lobbying and saying, look, I don't care what you guys got to do. Make it look good until November. That's all we need you to do. Just make it look good till then. After that, Jerome Powell, you can go wild. But until November, we need you to keep this somewhat in the bag. And I think we're going to see that up until the election. So what do we got? 5 weeks? I think we got 5 weeks in us. And after that, I think we'll have a lot more to talk about. And Nick saying, isn't Powell a Republican? To me, it doesn't matter. They are all crooks. I don't give a shit what party they're in. It really doesn't matter to me. As soon as I saw Pelosi yesterday knock down and her new strategy for the Stock Act and what she said as far as making it so the executive and the judicial branches also can't benefit, she made it so complicated that she knew it was going to get shot down. So they'll continue to play the game and make money until they stop making money. I think the market will be okay. So let's just wait and see what their filings are the next 40 days.
MC, thank you for supporting the channel. Appreciate you, brother. Steven, just another ape, says, is Dogecoin worth another look now that Elon is buying Twitter? That is a excellent thought. Let me pull up the crypto
Have you talked
chart
about
here
Elon
real quick. Huh?
at all? Have you talked about Elon and Twitter at all?
We just briefly talked about it. He decided not to fight it in court.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it looks like it's going through, and Twitter was halted most of the day today and then opened back up at the end of the day. Dogecoin is at 6 cents. So as I was saying earlier, I've been looking for a couple of shit coins to swing trade.
Mm-hmm.
It might be the recent high on Doge was 8.5 cents back on August 17th. And then prior to that, back in May,
That was the last two times we had that spike.
13 cents, 13 to 17 cents back in May. So, yeah, I mean, for 6 cents, throwing a little bit of money in Doge and seeing if you can double it based on Elon news, who knows? I'm just, I don't think there's a whole lot more downside for Dogecoin at this point.
That's what I was just about to say. How much more can he possibly do to take it down? If anything,
I don't think,
Yeah.
he can't do anything to take
No.
it down. If anything, he could be a positive, even if it's not real, right?
Right.
As we've seen time after time with retail momentum plays, the news doesn't have to be real. People just need to believe it.
That's right. He could say, we're going to start monetizing. We're going to start charging for something, and it will be through Dogecoin, something like that. Or, I've heard some of the things that possibly, people are saying that the reason he's doing this and why now that they're possibly going to drop all of everything. Is it still at 54 billion that he's about to pay for this? Is that still the number?
54.20, I think, was the price.
So he's locked into that number, correct? No matter what price Twitter is right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever price he is going with is probably what it will peg at.
I mean, he was pretty clear in his TED Talk. This is not about monetary value for him, right? This is not a moneymaker. This is about control of the town square and having an open forum and free speech.
But by doing that, he will, by creating a true free speech forum, he will be able to monetize it, I think.
There you go. There you go. If it's actually free speech, you bring Trump back, stuff like that starts happening, forget it. Then the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I don't want to use the Trump word, just the amount of, like, I hate going on any platform and having to think about what I say or type, getting muted for a week.
I know.
That is not free speech.
Nope. Last night in my video title, I didn't put any of the things I talked about. Not one.
I watched your video. Great video. Just by the content, I was worried that they were going to delete your video.
So I didn't put anything in the description about anything, just in the thumbnail and the picture. That was it. Not going to risk it.
The studio is looking good too, by the way.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I worked hard to try and get it done. So thank you. And thanks to everyone in the comments. I've read some of them in the last couple hours from the video last night. Thank you guys for all the shout outs and all the love. Much love. And this is my pink. I'm showing my support for Breast Cancer Month.
Broke Ape says, should we buy calls on Twitter? I mean, I don't know what the time frame is for Elon and Twitter to hammer out this deal, but if I was looking at calls on Twitter, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Let's say he were to close in on that by the end of this year, I think he's going to need a good year to do something with the company, and the stock will probably be volatile in the meantime. It could go up just once he buys it, or it could go up in anticipation of him buying it. But reflect back to the last time that he was going to buy Twitter. You could see the volatility. So hard for me to say for sure. I like to, if I'm buying calls or puts, I like to have a greater than 50% belief that it's going to go the direction that I want.
There you go.
Much greater than 50%.
That's a good thing to go by.
But there's people that gamble on call options. So depends on what your style is for options. Mine is a little more conservative. I like to really have either some insider information. That's a joke, SEC. Or, a pretty good feeling based on my research on the company of what's going to happen. Like,
Tony, bear with me. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm just going to try
Yeah.
to see if someone is still blocked on my channel here. Hold on
Yep.
1 second.
Like these
I'm
retail
sorry.
companies, that we've bought puts on, knowing that they over ordered inventory, knowing that they were having to mark down prices, knowing that even though people were fanatic about these companies like Bed Bath and Beyond, that they were probably going to report a shitty quarter, and buying puts right before their quarterly announcement. Those type of gut feeling type things, like you see something getting overbought and you know that the results are probably not going to meet people's reality and that it's going to sell off. That's the type of bets that I like to make. Mega Johnny says, when Musk buys, it will be taken private. There will be no shareholders. I mean, that is a possibility, right? I think he did talk about that, taking it private, and he could do that.
Yeah, he did. For sure.
Owning the float. What's going on? Christian Princess says the crap they make today is worthless. Who are we talking about? Most people don't know how to fix anything. That is a unique set of skills to be able to fix things. Your car, your house, a light switch, plumbing. To build shit. You did a lot of construction and electric work there yourself there, didn't you, Mass? On your studio?
Almost all of it. Almost all of it
Ladies,
except for
see?
the finished electrical.
What a catch, ladies. Look at this.
Good stuff.
Eric says, if I
Still
sell a
single.
covered call, how would I know if a person sold it? How would I know if the person I sold it to sold it early and took profit? If you are assigned, you'll get a notice from your broker, and depending on if you're long or short, they will let you know. And that could happen. Typically, it happens after the options expire, but sometimes it could happen before that. From what I understand, they say it's random who gets assigned. I don't know how random it is, but that's what they say. They're randomly picked from the pool of options holders. At what point do we have to worry about a reverse split for Highcroft? Is that what we're talking about, Stephen? Highcroft, 180 days. So early April. Did you see that, Mass, that Highcroft got the delisting notice for being under a buck?
Yes. Yes, I heard the same's coming for APE too. I don't believe it.
Hey, I mean, it'd have to go under a buck, right?
I don't see that happening.
So Highcroft has to get over $1 for 10 days, 10 trading days in a row. So basically 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And that has to happen before April, and they can apply for an extension. As far as APE right now, it's not yet in jeopardy of being delisted. But I was listening to a space call today, and they kind of just like brushed aside the Highcroft thing. Don't worry about it. This is what I have a problem with. When people tell you don't worry about something. Oh, that delisting notice? Don't worry about it. I hear this on every stock ticker, on every YouTube channel. Oh, you know about that reverse split notice? Don't worry about it. Guys, you got to fucking worry about it. That's your job as an investor. If you're listening to YouTubers telling you don't worry about something, you need to get some alternate sources so you have balance. You should always worry about stuff. That's called being an informed investor. You should not just not worry about it. You need to keep up with the date and know what's going on and know that this is a potential negative for the stock. But on the flip side, on the good side, there's plenty of time, right? 6 months is a long time, and they have a chance to do an extension. So I would never say don't worry about it. Be informed and keep up with what's going on with that company.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I heard someone today, I can't remember who, talking about a reverse split for the stocks. Maybe GTII, saying, "Oh, we knew that was coming, no big deal." What's your thoughts on GTII? It's all done.
Well, I spoke about GTII and Finger and all of the momentum trades. We had several people in Discord that made money on those, and I'm not calling them pump and dumps. I'm calling them momentum trades.
Yeah.
Right. If you got in early when it was first called out and you took the gamble and you got in on it and you played the momentum, those were good trades and no problem with doing that. But when what I'm usually looking for of when the momentum is done is when you start having declining daily candles on declining volume. And the volume didn't quite fall off enough today for me to say that GTII is done. So it's at the same roughly daily volume it was at for the last week.
Okay.
But a red day is a warning flag. We'll have to see what tomorrow does. And after hours, sorry, there's no after hours and pre-market on it because it's OTC. But
right, it's OTC, yeah. By the way, I love your hat. I just noticed that you have the same
hey,
hat
thank
on
you.
last night. That thing is super G. It is. You are G'd out. As we say in Boston.
I'm wearing this hat till we have a red day in the market because this is the catalyst right now.
All right. I hope you
yes,
keep
we've fallen that low. Tony Denaro said his hat's the catalyst. I have some crazy catalyst guys. Chairs, new computers, Scarlett being on the channel. You know, by the way, the last time Scarlett was on the channel, March 28th, we had a massive run up.
That was around $34, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Scarlett is the good luck charm we never knew we needed.
Yes. Yes.
So GTII, Finger, all of those, just play them smart. As I said, if you know, I'm not going to be making videos a week into this telling you guys it's going to $700. I don't know if you heard me, Mass. There was a guy live streaming GTII today, literally said his price target on the high end is $7,000.
So he's clearly out of the position.
I mean, he's been covering it. He's a GTII long-term dude. He's been covering it for a long time. It's a smaller channel.
Okay.
So he's a long-term believer in GTII, and he's finally getting his payday, and excellent for him. But to think that OTC stock's going to $7,000, I just think that, you know, you shouldn't be smoking your own supply.
Never get high in your own supply.
Right. 60 cents to $9 is a hell of a trade. And it might go higher. You know, we'll have to see. I'm not saying it's done. I'm saying play on the house money and don't be tempted in by these pie in the sky prices to get in these things after they've been running too long. Play them smart. If you see them early and you want to gamble, get in early. And then if they don't work out, get out. And if they work out, then take your initial bankroll off and let the house money ride. That's how I like to play those.
There you go. Yeah, can I just add to that just a little bit? I just want to say about these pump and dump / momentum plays / retail crashes, whatever you want to call them, retail hangovers. You know, we talked a lot about this on the live streams. We talked about people being able to get in and out, being emotionless. And I just saw someone saying, like, Tony, it's really hard to do that. It's really hard when there's a lot of emotion involved because we're talking about your livelihood, right? Your next meal. So I get that. But with these type of plays, it's really not something you want to hang on to. We talked about back in, I remember in the beginning of this year, 2022, there were going to be a lot of distractions that would come up over the summer and the fall, and it's just bleeding over, right?
Let's not call them a distraction, though.
Okay, let's not call them a distraction.
Every week, there's momentum trades in the market. This is why I want to help you guys become emotionless and not become like a firefly drawn to the light. If you miss a play because it's already running up and you saw it too late or you hesitated, you are a typical retail trader. The typical retail trader waits too long, They don't believe in it early. Then they buy towards the top, and right when everybody's piling in, which is what's driving it up. And then the early guys start getting out and the rug pull happens.
Yep.
So if you saw it too late, that's okay. There'll be another one next week. That doesn't mean that they're distractions to anything. That's just the market. There's always a momentum trade every week.
100%. 100%.
Don't feel bad about missing one. And you guys, what the emotionless piece comes in not being sucked into the Pied Piper of these clickbait YouTube channels that give you ridiculous price targets. Oh, I did my DD. I love the fundamentals of GTII. Bullshit. There's no fundamentals on this company that would justify a $700 or $7,000 price target. Absolutely none. But momentum trade it all day long if you get in early. That's just in it. That the whole emotionless thing is just resisting the urge to jump in if you saw it too late, and knowing from experience and confidence that there will be another one next week.
Yep. Yep.
Steven says he's still blocked on your channel. Steven, nothing we can do about it now, but you're not blocked on mine, and your comments are getting on the screen. So,
and Steven, and if my mods have control to go and unblock Steven, I don't know why I can't get in there right now, but if someone could help me out, one of my mods that has the capabilities, if you could unblock Steven,
I can tell you that the mods will block people for spamming the chat with the same comment over and over. So please don't do that.
This is true.
All right. Dr. McLovin, what's going on? Pam says, Prometheus, meet my buddy Ed E. Trades. He's the one who grilled for us. All right. Whatever happened, I love to win says to all the margin call talk.
It's early. It's early.
Yeah, margin calls in my world happen when stocks run up, and they're going to happen in two ways, right? The market gets so obliterated on the downside that they get margin called for new collateral if they were a long hedge fund. If you're a short hedge fund, you're not losing money in a down market. You're making money hand over fist. And I see people saying on Twitter space calls, oh, they're spending so much money to keep these short positions open in the bear market. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, they're literally making bank. If you're a short hedge fund, it's not costing you much. You're killing it. So if you're a long hedge fund, you'll get a margin call in a down market, possibly, if you weren't properly hedged with options. But the short hedge funds will get margin called in a increasing market as short positions get away from them, and they start going red as things move up. So depends on what hedge fund that you want to go after. Who are you targeting, and what is their, are they a short hedge fund? Are they a balanced hedge fund? Do they have positions in bonds, treasuries, real estate, crypto, equities? If they're in everything, well, then you need everything to crash. It's more complicated than the simple meme tweets that we see, I guess is what I'm saying.
Steven, you should be all set now. Check it now. Someone's saying, Michael says, won't Elon get margined? Asked if he buys Twitter when Tesla goes down during a crash. I mean, what's Tesla at? What did it close at today? Just out of curiosity with this.
I did see someone tweeted a picture of WTF Tesla. It was actually up 3% today.
Yep.
But in the last week, it's down from 308 to 250.
Yeah, it's down almost 12% in the last 5 days.
Oh, wait, 242. Sorry. 242, and then today it closed at 249.
249.44, yeah. Yeah, so down 12% in the last 5 days.
Yeah, I'd like to. I skipped buying Tesla at 218, and I would consider grabbing some more Tesla if we get into the low 200s.
Yeah, we're close, right? I mean, we're close to that price where it seems like it would be a good time to jump in if you
PE
were
it
to.
was still 59 on Tesla, and that is what's stopping me from jumping in and being a buyer. That crazy PE ratio, the fear of uh, a bigger sell off in the broader markets is going to bring Tesla down much more than other companies, relatively speaking, because of the high PE ratio. King Louis says, I believe everyone thinks they're still holding $2 shorts on a $10 stock. Yeah. If you think that shorts are underwater on AMC, no, as we know, you see on the Ortex when people cover it, the shorts move in and out of positions every day. And there's plenty of them that are established at $30, $40, $20 that are plenty in the green. So we need a catalyst, and we need massive move up to get some of these guys in trouble if you're talking AMC or GameStop.
Yeah. And we'd like to see the smaller funds that might be over leveraged. Those are the guys we want to take out first, right? Those are the guys.
The small dominoes are the easier ones to topple, and then that can set things off. Scott's asking, have you bought any AMC or APE lately? Yes, I talked about that a couple days ago on a live stream. So I've only been buying APE, and my last purchase was it Friday or yesterday, guys? Whenever I got it at $2.45.
So you're cost averaging right now? Because I know you got some. I got some too at 540.
Yeah, well, I have been increasing the quantity. I'm still just taking nibbles, right? I'm not buying 1,000 shares. I'm cost averaging down and increasing the quantity as the price goes lower. But my next buy-in, if it were to go down, would be in the $1.95 to $2 range.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I got to start cost averaging myself. I just dumped so much money into doing all this. It's like the market has been kind of something I haven't messed with too much because of the volatility. But if we're going to see a little bit of a bull run the next couple of weeks, which I think we will, then now is the time. By the way, tell me what your thoughts are going forward, and then we can get back to the chat really quick. But I just wanted to know, what are your thoughts on some of the major corporations, some of the big pharma companies out there for, this flu season coming up in the winter, and what's going on with the gas and people that are going to be getting sick and maybe getting shots that they normally wouldn't get because they're going to be dressing up in extra layers and because they can't afford their gas bill. I don't know. What do you think?
I've started buying Pfizer calls for middle of next year. And I think the first one I bought was about 3 weeks ago now, was when I first jumped in on that. I'm going to put a video out, but I'm kind of waiting. I was hoping Pfizer would come down a little more, so we had a more compelling argument to make, but it's refusing to go down, which is good. I mean, I don't want it to go down, but I'd like to pick up some long-term calls at a cheaper price. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. But it is good to know where we kind of are to see that it's really holding and sustaining this price range right now. That's good just to know, for future reference, seeing how well it's holding a spot here and ping ponging between these two price targets is good, right? Just so you kind of know where you're at, what to expect.
What's up?
Jennifer says, I hate big pharma. No offense. No, Jennifer, I agree. I can't stand them either. They control a huge swath of the mainstream media and what is being said, and have for a while. So go ahead. Sorry,
Scarlett was asking me which beer choice I wanted.
Oh, there you go. Lizzie says
So-
they're splitting firewood every day.
I saw one comment just flash through. What is a good silver ETF? I think probably one of the more well-known ones. I don't even know how many there are, but GLD and SLV are the ones that I would tell you to go look at to get started. Cracker Mac says, is ape the pounce? I talked about the definition of pounce, right? I think people are assigning their own definition to the word pounce or checkmate that may not be what Adam Aaron's definition of it is. So I can't tell you if your definition meets his definition. Some people have ridiculous ideas about what pounce or checkmate means. And maybe his is a very simple idea, like we're not going bankrupt. So
Yeah, could be, right?
hard for me to say.
Just real quick, just about the silver ETFs. So DBS ticker symbol, SLVR, and I believe the third one is SLV are three of the big ones that are NYSE traded for silver ETFs.
As I said, expanding on the pounce and the checkmate, someone's else asking about checkmate. I talked about this last night. I think Adam Aaron is a very fundamentals CEO, and for him, checkmate is we're not going bankrupt. We're going to be just fine. I don't think that he is thinking like checkmate. We're going to expose all the shorts and rocket up to $1 million. I'm sorry that that's not what some of you want to hear, but I mean, maybe it is, but I would say if you level set your expectations, maybe down a couple notches, you'd be happy like I am, knowing that the company is in no risk of going bankrupt with the cash that they're going to raise from APE. That will easily be enough to pay off the 2023 and 2024 debt coming up. And so they don't even have to worry about any debt till 2025. And really the reason a company gets shorted is because these shorts think that they have an edge on a weak fundamental company. And that is a fashion of checkmate if you just protected your king from being taken out. Go ahead.
I was going to say, can we go back for 1 second and real quick? Steven, you're funny, man. Listen, first of all, I just unblocked you myself 20 minutes ago. That's why you're back up. And I do work for the CIA. Don't you ever forget it. Let's see. So going back to something I was talking about last night in the videos, it got me up to thinking about the pandemic and the whole COVID thing, and GameStop and AMC and some of the other companies, Bed Bath and Beyond that were shorted. I'm just wondering how much of this would have been known back in when did we first know about some of the things that were going on? I would say around October or September of 2019 was when we believe that started to happen. The pandemic was really starting to get cooking around December of 2019. And then we had the 2 weeks to flatten the curve in March of 2021. So in that time, as I looked last night at the September 11th thing with the puts on the airlines, specifically United and American, and how those guys went back 10 years to look and see how many actual catalysts, and they took 18 different airlines, right, over this 10-year span. This video, the clip I pulled last night was just really short, but it got me to thinking on how much was known before. How much was the NIH talking to the WHO, and people pick up information here and there and start thinking, hey, if brick and mortar is going to be taking a hit, let's go all in. Let's try to take them out right now while we have the chance. And I'm just curious, as I'm looking back now, because I'm one of the people that always thought there's no way 9/11 could have been an inside job or anyone could have known about it. My viewpoint on that in the last 20 years has completely changed. But I was one of those people who said there's just no way. And now, after watching some of the things that I've watched, it definitely has me thinking. That's all. I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, I don't want to get a whole. I don't want to derail the whole conversation into a 9/11 conspiracy conversation.
No, I wasn't trying to go there.
But I did get thinking, like, what do I think about it when I watched your video last night?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I like the phrase "inside job," like the CIA set these guys up. I don't know if I would go that far, but I definitely think some people knew about, that things were there was chatter, that word they like to use. People knew that there was potential.
Yeah, the president was getting briefed on it. Yeah, we know that, right? That
just like they knew there was potential for the pipeline to get bombed. Yeah, the Nord pipeline. Right. Again, they know about this stuff.
Yes. And how much money could you have made had you have gotten the heads up a couple of days ago they're going to blow up that pipeline? I mean, if you had just made a small maneuver in any type of commodity, whether it was natural gas, one way or the other, you could have made a fortune, right? And looking back just at all the data points and watching that whole thing, just got me to thinking, and it got me thinking back to our original investment, why we got into AMC in the first place, why it was so heavily shorted, why they had to take away the buy button, why did all those things have to occur? Because it must have been that it was going to cause a meltdown if they weren't able to do that. It must
somebody had a little bit of inside info and went in heavy on a leveraged position, and they literally were going to screw up the whole collateral system at the DTC.
Yeah.
I still believe that. And I still hold the outside hope that we will unravel some stuff, but I'm not going to base, talking every day on my channel about that. That's an outside chance. The best chance of AMC stock price going up is for Adam Aron to fix the fundamentals. If we can, whether a catalyst happens, unrelated to AMC in the meantime, that would be a bonus that unearths all this stuff. But ultimately, him fixing the company will also get the shorts out of the stock. So there's multiple ways to win. Whether you're talking to AMC, GameStop, any of them, all of them have multiple ways to win. But it always comes down to fixing the company, right? Fundamental change.
Yep.
GameStop's got to deliver something. AMC's got to reduce the debt.
Yep.
That's why they're being shorted.
Yep. And let's add this too. And let's just talk about Q3 specifically. Because it's a video I'm working on right now. We've had a lot of releases. It's not like we haven't had any releases in the last 3 months. Now, I get it. It's kind of a weird time. Q3 usually isn't a huge quarter for movies. It's usually 2 and 4, right? But this earnings report for Q3, I'm sorry, for Q2, I think wait a minute. Am I wrong here? Q3, right?
Q3 is coming up in about 30 days.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's going to be a little ugly, right? And we've talked about that many times. And I think that some of that blame has to fall on the shoulders of the production studios and the crap that they're putting out there. There's a lot of garbage that's coming out right now. I mean, they can't even. I mean, I saw a couple movies this weekend that just opened, couldn't break $5 million. And some, big, huge, hyped movies for the new progressive country that we're living in these days. And it's just not selling. And it does get me a little nervous from time to time. But then I think forward to some of the things we have coming, and there are brighter days ahead. We're just in a little bit of a slump right now. And if we're all being honest with ourselves, that's really all you can call it. But I think the light will get brighter as the future goes on, and people will see, well, Top Gun did $1.2 billion on a 40-year-old remake. What are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong?
It's unfortunate that we're hand in hand with all these movie companies that are pursuing a social agenda over profits. But eventually, these are capitalistic companies. Capitalistic companies will eventually come around to focusing on profits. Right now, they're stuck in social agenda more than they're worried about profits. But that only lasts so long before somebody gets fired.
KYP, I try not to be a conspiracy guy. I really try not to. I try to sift through the BS, but some of this is just undeniable. Can I just say one thing? One thing real quick. Going back to 9/11, there was a Patrick Ben David. You know who he is? Bet David. He has a podcast. He was just on Rogan a couple days ago. Iranian guy, pretty popular podcast out of Florida. He had one of a structural engineer on, and they were talking about World Trade Center 7 and how did that building, a couple things about that building, but the biggest thing is a building that's 42 stories high that is not actually hit by an airplane, just has some fires on it. How does that knock down a 42 story? Do you know how many buildings have been on fire? In the 40s, a B-50, I want to say a B-52 bomber actually flew into the Empire State Building. Have I talked about that before here? Did you know that? Back in World War II? Yeah. And the Empire State Building is still there. Barely moved. There's been huge fires that have started on lower floors, engulfed the whole entire building of these skyscrapers, and it's never melted steel beams, especially on building 7, where it wasn't impacted by a plane. I don't understand, and I'm not a structural engineer. So the fact that they don't get it makes me all the more curious.
Well, I am a structural engineer.
You are? Okay.
No.
Can you explain?
No, but but I have taken.
I believe you.
I have taken. Yes, it's my engineering hat. We get these at graduation.
Engineering hat. Yeah.
What I heard in my investigation of that building, and again, I don't want to derail the whole conversation on 9/11, but that some of the debris from one of the main towers fell into that building, and the main problem is not a fire as much as the structural support being weakened and the fire retardant that's put on those steel beams getting scraped off. And it only takes a certain amount of softening for the things to start separating, the beams and the columns. And so a fire by itself is not going to bring a building down, but you have structural damage plus a fire. Now you have a more complicated situation.
Okay.
Six Son, I don't mind talking about it. I just, we're here to talk about stocks tonight, and I don't want to get the stream demonetized either. So,
oh, sorry, I'm already monetized. I just looked. So, I just put in a request for review. All right, I'm gonna stop talking about 9/11.
Anyways, yeah. I see people still tweeting, there were no jets. And, anyone in New York on the streets that day can tell you they saw the jets hit the building. We've seen it from multiple camera angles.
Yep. And like I said, I mean, I was there on the 10th. So the only reason I came home that day was the grace of God and a rain out for the Red Sox Yankees game. Or else I would have been there Tuesday morning. Yeah, I would have been headed home. But I wouldn't have checked out of my hotel probably till 11 o'clock, right? Or 12 on Tuesday. So I would have been there at 8:49 in the morning. That's kind of crazy thinking back to that. But yeah, I didn't mean to get off tangent with that. What are the odds?
Someone said, what are the odds they went 2 for 2 on collapsing? As soon as I saw the first building go down, I was yelling at the TV, get out of the fucking second building. It's inevitable that it was going to come down. I mean, you saw the catalyst, a plane crash taking out structural support columns and a massive jet fuel fire. I knew as soon as I saw the first one. I was surprised the first one came down, but once I saw that, I knew it was a matter of time before the second one would.
Tony, can I share something on your screen real quick?
Yep.
Okay. So see this building here on the right in Brazil? This one here? Totally engulfed in flames, right? Every story engulfed in flames. Guess what? Building didn't come down. I went through, I don't know, hundreds of pictures here of building fires that were on lower floors in the trade. Completely engulfed buildings. Completely engulfed. I mean, like every freaking floor. And some, they're still standing. The steel girders are still there. Towers were built in the late 70s. I don't know. It just, a lot of it is very funky to me. Looking back at some of these huge fires, and the structural integrity of the building remains. I mean, look at how devastating some of these fires are, and that structure is still up and standing. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, sometimes
they're supposed to be designed to withstand a structural fire.
And a plane impact. Don't forget, and a plane impact. That was a law that was put into place after the B-52 bomber hit the Empire State Building.
I didn't know that law.
Yes. Yes. But I think what the question came into play was the amount of jet fuel and the fire that would cause upon explosion that they can't count for, right? Just the actual impact of the plane hitting it, not for the aftermath of the fire that spreads from the jet fuel. So I guess that's where we come into a controversy, right? All right, I'm going to shut up now and shut that off. I'm done. I'm done.
All right. What else stock related do you guys want to talk about?
All right, so we talked about GTII a little bit, right? We talked about GTII a little bit. We think it still has some room to run. APE and AMC, I'm really not that concerned about. I think we are going to have a little bit of a stretch right now where it's going to be boring as we wait for some catalysts. I think they're going to be just fine, and I'm not worried about my position at all. If anything right now, I would want to pick up some more APE and get my cost average down, right? From when I bought after the stock split.
Gorilla Gardener asking any screener suggestions. So stock screeners looking for runners. If you want just a basic website, Mr. Gardner, investing.com has a screener on it that includes pre-market and it's free. Also, most of your platforms, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Webull, even all of them have screeners built in. So look up whatever trading platform you use and figure out how to use the screener on that. Some of them you need to dial in with filter criteria. So if I'm looking for retail momentum trades, I'm looking for usually smaller cap stocks under $10 or $15, and typically not on the OTC market. But there have been plays I've missed because my screening criteria was too tight. So that's a bit of fine tuning. If you see you missed one, look at, was it market cap? Was it price? Was it you had certain exchanges excluded, and then adjust your criteria.
Let me ask you this. Weirdo Shrine says GTII is done. Change my mind. He's pulling a Steven Crowder on us. Can you change his mind that GTII is done?
No, it's not. No. I'm not here to change anyone's mind on any play. I'm going to say what I always say on these plays. I look for declining volume and declining price. And GTII, it did have declining price today, but the volume on the daily was still pretty equivalent to the past 7 days. So that being said, if tomorrow you see declining volume and declining price, or even just another day of declining price, I would take that as, if you're not out yet, it might be a good time to lock some profits in.
Pull out.
I'm not looking to buy GTII on the dip, so I'm definitely not someone to convince you that it's not done. I'd be looking very carefully if I'm still in that play for warning signs once the market opens tomorrow, and then adjust accordingly.
I would be way too nervous to try to buy right now, coming down and having it like this. I mean, there is no good news right now, other than a retail pump that can really move this forward? I mean, are we talking? Is there anything we can talk about that possibly newsworthy that would push GTI?
I mean, the only reason it was being pushed is these guys are convinced, surprise, that there's billions of shorts.
Right. Right.
The shorts are scared. It's all the same talk you hear on every ticker. The shorts are scared. You know, they're spending a lot of money to keep it shorted. How are they spending money to keep it shorted? You sell. I mean, yes, if retail overpowers them, then they lose money, right? And they got to go in and they try and reestablish a short at a higher price. So in that case, but once it's coming down, they're not spending money to short it. They're making money by shorting it. The only way it costs them is if you overpower them by driving the price up.
Truth.
So
What's up, Lupe?
that's why I look at the volume. You got to have overwhelming buy volume.
Is GTII considered loose play? I thought he was kind of late on that. No, am I wrong?
There's been a lot of people that have been covering it a lot longer than him.
Yeah,
he's got probably the biggest platform calling it out. So,
right. Someone said, I looked it up. Pounce is defined as complete disappointment, otherwise known as swallowing sadness. I don't know that High Metal says. I don't know that I think this has turned into the long game for us. And I've kind of come to terms with that. And I think a lot of people, if they try to think that way, it might help them to hold, right? Until we have whatever's coming. And I don't think this is over by a long shot. I just think they're playing the game better than we are right now. And they have more funds. And they don't have to stay as organized. And they don't have to constantly be in communication with each other like we are 24/7, talking to other people, checking everything. I mean, it's a lot different. They got a real small group of people, a little core thing, and they can make big decisions, where we are millions of separate bodies with separate bank accounts and separate brokerage accounts trying to hold this thing together.
You have
I'm just hoping
millions of minds, many of them inexperienced and emotional, versus a conglomerate with one short button that can move billions of dollars.
Correct.
I mean,
right. An algorithm that's very hard to beat, right?
Yeah. Ellie, if you weren't on last night's live stream when I was talking about the warrants for GTII, I don't understand how people are looking at the warrants as a bullish thing for the stock. I did see that they were going to reduce the strike price on the warrants from 275 to 2, and they pulled that today. They're going to keep it at 275, but warrants are, if they're exercised, that's going to add to the float. So I don't know how, I mean, that would typically be a price suppressing type thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm thinking about it too simply. But I don't know how warrants being exercised is going to be bullish for the stock.
What did you guys talk about AVCT before I came on at all?
No.
Okay.
Other than mentioning it as another momentum play. It's struggling because of the reverse split, and there's a key date where it's either going to be a winner or it's not. I think they're saying October 6th, where supposedly that's the day where Microsoft's going to make an announcement that they're acquiring AVCT. If it doesn't, you'll probably see an additional mass exodus on that stock. So
be careful.
That's a speculative play, and good luck if you're in it, hoping for that.
Yeah, and anyone that's holding any one of those stocks, I wish you guys the best. I hope you guys make a ton of money. A couple people asked about where's Pantheon been. Have you talked to Pantheon at all?
Yeah,
last night.
He's been in the chat. I've seen him in my chat. I've seen him in other folks' chats. I've had DM conversations with him, so he's definitely still around.
Okay. Any word from Lion Trader? Has he uploaded a video in a while? Do you know?
I don't watch that many other folks' channels, so he's not on
Mm.
my regular rotation.
Let me know, chat, if anyone's seen any uploads from Lion Trader lately. I'm just wondering if he's still around.
Hey, do you not have your? Oh no, this is in my chat. I thought I had my chat set to 60 seconds. How are these people? How are these people spamming the same message over and over?
Can't they just hit if you want to type the same message over and over again, can't you just like click and copy and paste and just keep doing that if you want to? There's no
No,
way to
because I
stop
have
that,
a
right?
timer. I have a timer. Oh, I don't have slow mode on. All right,
Mm.
I'm turning slow mode on, so that will cut down on the spam.
For anyone talking to me right now in the chat, just understand Tony has control of the chat right now. So tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing the first official live from here. If you want to talk conspiracies, 9/11, we can do it tomorrow night. Thermite, all that good stuff. I see some people talking about the flames. We'll get into it tomorrow night. I just don't want to do it on Tony's channel for monetization reasons. That's all. So I hope you guys understand that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time we do one of these of having you drive the steering wheel. So
I said
it's
I'm
much
going to
more
enjoy
fun.
my last night tonight of freedom, of not
it's
having to go through. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fun just to sit back and read all the chats and not have to worry about managing everything.
Yeah, this is my last night to do that. I said that to myself right before I came on. I'm like, hey, enjoy tonight, because once tomorrow comes, it is going to be fast and furious. So
They're wanting
enjoy.
to know if the on air sign behind you lights up. I've been thinking
Yes.
about getting one of those.
It's very bright though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's so bright you can't really read the letters with the fuzzy background. I was just saying it is so bright that with the what do you call it? What do you call the fuzzy background? I'm not a photographer.
So I need to get some light diffusion or tints to put on this. It's way too bright.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And
Cali boy, what's going on?
I ordered one that was supposed to be like the professional one, like the nicest one you can possibly get that I could find online, pretty much for like under $50. Complete trash. This is the best thing I could find for under like $30. So I just need to get some tint, I think. I'm going to get some window tint and put it over it and just wrap the entire sign in window tint. That should take down some of that glare and that brightness. Yeah, it looks like a nightclub. Someone said it looks like a porn set. You should see when my complete room is lit up, when this whole room is lit up, it looks crazy in here. It really does look crazy at night. I'll take a picture one night and put it up on the community page.
Six Son is saying he got slammed by Finger today, but I mean, Finger chart actually looked pretty good. Six Son,
Yeah.
what? Tell me, how'd you get burned on this? It obviously, if you bought in at 780 or 750, you're down a little bit. But if you bought in the past few days on Finger, I mean, that's a pretty nice chart. I don't know how you could have got burned on that unless you jumped in on the last minute.
I saw some people asking about Finger in the comments that you didn't get. I keep saying Finger, but it's FNGR, right? Did you happen to get into that at all?
Nope.
No, right? Okay. MC, no, thank you, brother.
You know, on a bearish week, I'm more hesitant in jumping in these plays. Obviously, you know, I wish I would have jumped in them. These both have been great plays. Anything that goes from 60 cents to $7 or $8, I'll take that all day long. But it is a declining volume day, so I would be very careful and wake up early and watch Finger and pre-market tomorrow.
Yuka said, "Who got fingered?" Come on, Yuka.
MC, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't know, Tony. I'm nervous about these two. And that buyout for ABCT, I don't know. You think that's going to actually happen? I just don't know, right? Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean, they have a legit product.
Yeah.
AVCT does.
Yeah.
This company Candy that they bought, but I mean, and they have had a previous buyout attempt. Whether or not it's going to happen, who knows? I mean, I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but I just see a lot of people that run stuff up the flagpole, play after play after play. One lady in particular that don't really, they don't have a good track record. When I hear these people talking about it in particular, it really makes me cautious. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't jump on board and play the momentum, but if you're up, I would take some money off the table.
Yeah, just be careful, guys. Don't get caught in a bad something happening overnight to the market and just everything gets ripped, right? It's only going to take that one thing to be the shit hitting the fan, whatever it is that's going to possibly happen. I mean, I know it's crazy because you're getting conflicting reports from everywhere, right? Every different news station has a different report, and it's like trying to sift through what people are really thinking. I was watching Bloomberg last night before, right after I got done with the upload. I was watching Bloomberg, and do you know who Sachs is? He's an economist from Columbia University. Ever heard of
Is
him?
that the guy that's been his interviews been making the rounds?
Probably.
Is he the one that you had on your
Oscar that's there?
Did he have?
Yes.
Did you have him on your video?
No, he wasn't in the video. No. That actually
Okay.
it happened. I think it happened. I didn't see it till today. I don't know when it happened. Last night, maybe the interview took place. But is that the one you're talking about when he made this face about he said something about Nord Stream and the guy from Bloomberg there? You know the guy who looks like Madeleine
I saw
Albright's
that one
brother?
too. Yeah.
You saw that one? Who is that guy?
I
The
don't
Madeleine
know.
Albright lookalike. Who is that? I love that guy with the bow tie. News McDoodles, whatever his name is. The face on him when that guy said it's probably likely a joint U.S.-Poland operation. Well, no, he goes, now, wait a minute. Now, Michael, when would you be saying that? And it's like, you just want to smack him in the face and be like, now, what makes you think it was Russia? Just out of curiosity, why would Russia do that? Let's really think. I mean, this isn't a 75-year-old guy on Bloomberg. You would think he'd have a little more sense in his head than I do, right?
I can just hear the
some
producer
loser from
yelling in the
Boston.
earpiece, "Get him off that topic. Change the topic. We're not allowed to talk about this."
Yeah, he said it. He goes, I know we're not allowed to talk about this. He's like, but the possibilities of it being United States over Russia are pretty high. And maybe a lot of people don't want to admit that, but it is what it is. Tom Keene is his name. Thank you, Space Cowboy. Tom Keene. It's Madeleine Albright's brother. That is Tommy Albright or Matthew Albright.
I'm going to touch on Mullen really quick since someone asked about it. Yes, I've talked about Mullen and all of the EV startup companies many times. Any EV startup going up against Tesla, they already, they have to fight Tesla. They got to fight all of the big name car companies that are putting out electric vehicles. And they have to overcome all of the startup cost of design, production, building a factory, tooling up the factory. Do not underestimate how daunting of a task all of that is and how expensive it is. And you're seeing in Mullen this 1.75 billion shares of dilution because they need to keep keeping you pumped up to inject liquidity into the company so that they can keep moving down that cycle of getting into production.
Let me ask you something, Tony.
Mullen's years away from real production, and they keep on missing on the things that they're promising. So I'm not that optimistic on Mullen, but it's pretty damn cheap. So I certainly wouldn't say buy Mullen, but if you like speculative plays, it's a highly speculative play. And I've said many times, most of the EV startup companies will be bankrupt in the coming years. The bigger ones that are further down the road, Polestar, Rivian, and a few of the, Neo,
Archimoto.
Some of the ones that are further down the pipeline, it's less risky. But all of these other ones, you should not put money in these that you're not willing to completely lose. And you're going to need to be patient for a couple years on these companies.
Think about all of the car companies around the world right now who would probably love to be able to take advantage of this huge tax break they're going to give on electric vehicles. I mean, if the turnaround was so easy, don't you think Ford and GM and these other companies would be getting into that right now? I mean, if they're thinking of outlawing ICE vehicles by 2035, all these things, you would think that this should be something that's already in the planning. They're already working on. Like, I know they have the Ford Lightning truck, electrical truck, but like, think of all of that startup money, all of that capital, all that overhead that's already in infrastructure and the plumbing that's already laid down by these massive companies. For one of these smaller guys to enter right now and make a dent is a serious question in my mind as far as getting up and getting running. Because if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it, right?
Yep. All right. Yes, it's Bouquet. Is that how you pronounce it? I forget.
Phuket, Thailand.
No,
Yeah, Phuket.
not Phuket. The blur in the background. I think it's Bouquet.
Oh, is that what that's called? That shine?
No, having your background blurred. So when you have, like, I've got this Sigma f 1.4 lens, so that my face is crisp, but the background's kind of blurry.
I told you I bought the used Microsoft camera that someone returned to Amazon, but I got a really good deal on it, right? It was like almost a third off. It was only like $39 for this webcam. I don't think I can switch to it right now. No, because I had to unplug it because the damn USB port went out. But yeah, starting tomorrow, I have that camera to get ready to get going. So I'm going to have to get this problem fixed with the USB port. I'm going to need a powered USB port hub. That's what I need, right? A powered hub to be able to take all these things on. Thank you, chat, for that, by the way.
JK was asking what's in the skull. Tonight I'm sipping on a little Woodford Reserve.
Are you drinking out of a skull?
Yeah.
I should get one.
This is one of my former enemies. Used to troll a lot on YouTube.
I'm going to have a skull for tomorrow night, too. Drink out of it. Find a way. Find a way.
All right. Steven Siebert. Yes, I see your comment. We've already addressed it. We can't fix
Steve,
it while we're streaming.
I took you off.
So.
No, I did. I took him off.
He's saying he's still blocked. Steven, he'll look into it after the chat. Please stop spamming the chat. That's the second time I've asked. There won't be a third warning, Steven.
And I think I put you back on, man. So you should be good.
No, he's saying now he's still blocked. So someone blocked him again. One of your mods. Oh. We'll take a look at it after the chat, after the stream's over, brother. Let's try and keep it positive, guys. You have a way you can message Massalorian, on Twitter. You can contact him in the comments of his live stream. Let's not bring the chat down with a bunch of fussing. You're not going to accomplish anything.
Mike's comments right here. Can we read this real quick? What he just said about
Mullen? I'm still catching up. Go ahead and read it. I'm trying to find it.
It just blew past me.
All right, Mike, about Mullen.
Yeah. There you go. Good
Mullen was founded in 2002. Why is it taking so long to get to this level? I'm invested, but it's under $1. Wouldn't it go back OTC at some point? So Mullen is going to have to do a reverse split at some point. Did they already do one?
I was just going to ask you the same question. I thought that already happened. No? Am I wrong?
I'm looking. I don't know if I have those notifications turned on here.
Rick, that hat is the shit, bro. It is.
But yeah, I mean, right now, no, I don't see a split notification recently on Mullen. They will have to do a reverse split to get it over $1 at some point. But right now you're fighting 1.75 billion shares of dilution being sold into the market. So until that is exhausted, Mullen's going to stay depressed in price. And they have nothing, they have no real meaningful production to justify the price going up. Now, I know there are Mullen fanatics on YouTube and Twitter telling you this thing's going to the moon, blah, blah, blah. But why is my question. What do they have to show? They have no production going on.
Wasn't it you, Tony, that put the pictures up of the Mullen factory a couple months back? We were looking at
with
them.
no tooling in it.
Yeah,
no tooling.
Yeah.
It was a show photo, but anyone who's been in a factory knows that that was not an operational factory.
No idea, Yuka.
What movie is this from? We Found Your Prius. It was trying to vote for Ralph Nader. I don't know. Does that one ring a bell to you?
The Town? I don't know. I know there was something about a Prius in The Town that was a joke. You know, have you ever seen that movie, The Town?
Is that the one with Ben Affleck?
Yes. Yeah.
I've seen it multiple times. Yeah.
Good movie. Good movie. I think that's what I want to dress up for the Halloween cast is one of the nuns from the robbery. That's who I want to be. It was either that or like a 16th century old, you know, the doctors that have those big bird masks.
Yeah.
One of those. I love that costume, that outfit. I think is awesome. I just think that look is so cool. You know what that was for, the nose part? You know what they did with that?
No.
You know why it was there? They filled it with all kinds of like potpourri and good smelling things. And they thought it would help filter some of the, I'm not kidding. That's what they did. They filled it with good smelling things because this guy was going around during the plague, right? So he was smelling death everywhere. And that's where that came from. Supposedly, that's everything I've read about the plague doctor was filled with like potpourris and things that would make it smell good to when he was breathing. And also they thought it would help purify the air that he was breathing in, not get the plague. That's what I've heard. That could be total BS. Don't quote me on that. I definitely can't say that's a fact. Definitely not.
Edward says, why didn't APE go up like AMC? There is, in my opinion, just my opinion, I have no way of knowing it. Adam Aron and AMC are selling APE into the market daily. So there's going to be price suppression on APE until they've exhausted 425 million shares. You know, whether they're selling it into the market or they're selling it off the market, they're removing buying pressure. And I think the company put out a press release. They filed a form with the SEC. You should take them at their word. I understand there's people saying, surely he's going to wait, you know, until the price goes up. In my experience, no, when they make the filing, you should take them at their word. That's just, but we won't know until 30 days from now.
I find it hard to believe he would come out and do that without the objective of actually doing it. Adam Aron, one thing I can say so far, he seems to be pretty much on point when he says he's going to do something, he does it. I haven't seen him kind of veer too much off of that path. So with everything else, take it with a grain of salt, but more than likely this is in the works, right?
The other thing I keep on seeing my dear friend Spence Froggy Stonks on Twitter talking about is, and other people too, but you know, Spence is very vocal and I love his enthusiasm to death. But I don't agree with the theory that Adam Aron is auctioning off AMC for 12 or 20 bucks, you know, off the market. And people are, you know, coming hat in hand to Citigroup to pay $20 for share. I mean, they could literally go on the market and buy whatever they want from people that are leaving the play for $3 or $2.70. There's no outside auction happening at a higher price. That is just not how the market works. And he keeps on talking about the over allotment clause, which it is in there. There's typically in a prospectus, a market maker or a underwriter who's putting a stock out, they get a over allotment option to sell more shares into the market if there was high demand. And there is that wording in AMC's prospectus, and it does say only include this if there is an over allotment agreement, refer to attachment number 1, whatever. And I go down to that attachment number 1, and I don't see anything about over allotment actually being an agreement. Usually we'll say in there in a prospectus, I could give you 24 examples. It will say very clearly a paragraph that the underwriter has the ability to issue an additional 10% in case of high demand, through this over allotment agreement. That wording is not in there. So, and hey, if you know where that is and I missed it, tweet me or send it to me on email. But just because you see the word over allotment in the thing, you got to have the agreement will be spelled out. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think there's more than 425 million they're going to be sold, unless the other thing AMC could do, if there is high demand, they could file more paperwork with the Secretary of State in Delaware and create another billion apes. You'll get a notification on that. If there's high demand, if they think they can keep on selling it, you'll see SEC filing for more shares.
Kokomo Joe says, after a vote to accept APE to be turned into AMC, you will see an all-time high. Until then, it's more of the same we have now. You think that's pretty well said?
Say it again.
He says, after a vote to accept APE to be turned into AMC, you will see an all-time high. Until then, it's more of the same for now.
I don't know. I'd have to think long and hard about that. I do think that eventually one day APE will be turned into AMC. I'd prefer that, maybe, they could do a reverse split and shrink the number of shares either before or after doing that. But I don't know. I don't know if I could just off the cuff say that APE going back into AMC is going to kick off an all-time high. I don't know, being put on the spot, if I could make an argument for that.
I didn't mean to do that to you. Sorry.
I would need to crunch some numbers to figure out how that would work.
Mike says no, because APE turned into AMC equals stock dilution.
I mean, it's already dilution. So
yeah, that's how I look at it, Mike.
The only real benefit I see of APE going back into AMC, I've said this before, it just reduces the administrative headache of managing 2 tickers.
Yeah.
That's why I think they would do it.
Yes. Yep. Are you surprised, as I am, that they didn't trend more towards each other over the last 5-6 weeks?
Yeah. You mean, like, why aren't they more at price parity?
Yeah, like I would just think they would be. I mean, I just don't see the huge difference between the two, other than, my portfolio went down a big number since the split. That's all.
Yeah. So
since
I've got a couple
and AMC.
I got a couple thoughts on that. Number one, the hedge funds are probably, well, you would think that they want to short APE more, but we're not seeing that in the short interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would think that they want to short APE more because that is the bank for getting AMC out of debt, but the short interest on APE is not as high as AMC. So I'm kind of like defeating my own theory. But hey, the influencers that are pushing this sell APE, whether they're on YouTube, Twitter, or in the media, are doing a good job of convincing people to sell, thinking that they're going to avoid dilution by going to AMC. So why would you short it if the campaign of influencing people is working?
Yeah. Yeah.
But people are going to find out that through diluted shares, the diluted earnings per share, you are not going to avoid dilution on a company by moving your money to APE. You're being diluted. It's the same freaking company.
That's how
it's
I see
just
it.
two different tickers. Sorry, your AMC is being diluted also. The earnings per share of the company is going to be diluted no matter which ticker that you hold.
Yep. Yuka Furta just said that Half Pound just got shot outside in LA. Is that true? The rapper?
I don't
fatally
know.
shot?
I don't know.
Um,
Brian, thank you. Brian says the SPY is shorted more than AMC. What are my thoughts on that? So we see that a lot where the tickers, the indexes get heavily shorted, and there are people taking broad bets on the market going down. So that is not surprising to me. And the SPY has a lot more room to fall than AMC.
for sure.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
There's a core amount of people that are ready for the price of AMC to come down and buy it. And on the other hand, there's a lot of people that are scared if the market starts crashing to go in and buy the SPY.
100%.
So that might be a good bet, a negative bet on the index.
Yes. Yep.
And by shorting the index, they also, guess what? They push down the price of all these companies that are in that index also.
This is true. Yep.
So if you're short a bunch of tickers, shorting the index also helps you out on that. Six Sun says, do I see Highcroft going back down? Unfortunately, Six Sun, I think it's entirely possible unless they come out with some more good news. So
we got to do a live stream about that.
I hear people saying, oh, there's 6 samples and they're just loaded with gold and silver. And look, my simple opinion on that is if the news was that good, the experts on Wall Street would have already bid the stock up several dollars. So I'm not taking some random kid's advice on Twitter that he's impressed by the 6 samples, unless he's a mining expert with decades of experience. I'm sorry. I think you're being too easily misled. And we're talking not even 10% of the total core samples have been submitted yet. So until real good news comes out, I'm going to be buying the dips on Highcroft. I have it as a speculative play. I'm not recommending it to anyone. I bought it in the 60s. I sold it on the run up to 109, and then I rebought in the 60s again. So I think I'm in Highcroft at 63, and I'll buy some more for a speculative play if it drops to 50 cents.
Pam said holding Highcroft for the long term. There you go, Pam.
And then it is a long-term play. You got plenty of time to be patient on Highcroft. They're not going to really pull any metal out of the ground for 2 years. And in the meantime, if we get some compelling core sample evidence, then the price will run. But you'll know when that happens. You're going to see $2, $3, $4 on the stock, not from 70 cents to $1.09. That was just retail typical over hopefulness.
True.
So,
Brian, by the way,
I don't know if it's
play.
true. I don't know if it's true. This is my opinion. That's why I sold at $1, when it ran up over $1, and I said I'd rebuy when it came down in a few days, and it did come down, and I rebought.
Do you know there's some weird music playing?
Yeah, that's Scarlett's phone.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I just bought January 2025 calls on Highcroft when they a few days ago, and they're up 85% today.
Your calls are already?
Yeah.
For January 2025?
Yeah, buy calls when it's cheap. Give yourself plenty of time. If you think something's going up.
Corbin says, Tony, please address the billion sold, not yet purchased. Please
the
address
billions sold. Are we talking about Citadel's financials? Good Lord. Let me go turn that phone off.
Sounds like an alarm.
Yeah.
Sounds
like it's right next to me, but it's in the other room too.
Go ahead. Take a second. We'll just talk about conspiracies while you're gone. Go ahead. Johnny, he said, calls for January of 2025 on Highcroft. Is that by the sea? That hat's probably worth more than my entire portfolio right now. That Tony's wearing? If it's solid gold, it definitely is. If it's plated, maybe not. Adrian says, Mass, who shot JR? We'll talk. We'll get into who shot JR. We can get into all that stuff tomorrow night. I already got demonetized, so I just had to go in and request a review. When I went to go put Steven back on so he could comment, I looked and it was demonetized. So
yeah, she had a reminder for some meeting tomorrow.
I was gonna say
my mouse seems to have stopped working, by the way.
Oh, join the club. First it was the keyboard, then it was my mouse, then it was my mic. It's like one thing after another after another. Remember, I texted you like 8:30. I said I'm gonna be late, and then I said, all right, I'm not gonna be late. I'm gonna be on time. I'm just gonna put everything off. I'll do it after we get off. And sure enough, I go to get on, and nothing's working.
I think I know why it stopped working. Probably the battery ran out. I got this wireless mouse.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I have the same thing. Yes, Mass is old enough to know JR. Michelle loves freedom. I am, unfortunately. I know who JR is.
There we go. I got it back.
Got it?
Yeah. I plugged it into the wire.
Yeah, sometimes that fixes it, right? Do you did you have a little chip in for the USB or for the
I've got this Bluetooth thing that usually transmits to the mouse, but this is relatively new, and I normally keep the wire on it anyways, just because of like this. And I've been using it for a couple days now on wireless mode, and I guess I finally drained the battery.
Okay.
I had to move your phone into the
PM
the
Righteous.
West
What's
Wing.
up, man?
Your alarm was going off for your meeting reminder. Yeah.
By the way, I'm also in Mossad.
No. You're also in what?
Mossad, as well as the CIA.
Oh, yes. He's yeah. Don't mess with Massalorian.
No. Tony, do you blow into that device? Is that what so you can go back? And that's
I have
the camera to turn back.
I have to blow into it for 30 seconds to start the live stream.
There you go. Oh man. Diamond Gal says HYMC is my sidekick. Oops. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think you can go wrong with HYMC right now at these prices. Honestly, if you're just going to hold it, it's worth a shot, I would say, right? Don't you agree, T? I mean,
yep.
At these prices, you'd be very hard pressed to find, even if they don't find the amount of gold that they think they're going to find, or the silver, or these veins don't end up being as thick or deep as they believe. There's still money to be made there. There's still things to pull out of the ground there. So
it's going to be dependent on, in 2 years, the price of gold and silver, for one thing. That's kind of an unknown. That's why it's a speculative play. This is not they're not really generating any meaningful revenue. So all of the people that are legit pumping this stock, I'd say, rein your horses back in a little bit and let's look at the reality. I get it. You're excited. I get it. It directly through the income statement transfers to AMC's earnings per share, and I'd love the price of Highcroft to go up, but they need to show something to the market.
Yeah.
And it will, and then that will happen. And you can read the reports yourself and know, the timeline of when they're really planning to move any metal out of the ground. And we're not there. We're not going to be there in 2023. So let's just live in a world of reality and invest your money intelligently, or at least if you're speculating on it, that it's speculation, and you have some understanding of what you're in for in terms of a timeline. And the unknown that I got, which I really appreciate Marcel and Pantheon interviewing Diane Garrett, is because I'm not a gold expert, it was good of them to bring up the point that, like the previous company she worked for, according to this interview, when they had a good report of a good find, that was enough to move the stock. And I've heard other people that follow gold stocks in the comments say the same thing, that yes, that can be enough to move a stock. So let's wait for a real compelling report about easily mineable gold, a good vein close to the surface. And then you'll see the stock move. Until then, just relax, buy it on dips. Don't be in a rush. And, don't get overweight in one stock. You already own Highcroft by virtue of owning AMC. You should consider it a supplementary investment if you want to have potential for a gold mine stock. But they got to show something.
For sure. BTW brand says, I've talked reality about Highcroft or HYMC before on KC Shaw's live stream and gotten called a shill for it. That might be because BTW, he has a couple of rules. I don't know if you know this or not, but he does have a couple of rules on his live streams about ticker symbols. Maybe that's something you might want to look into. I don't think that I could totally be off on this, but
he does say he only wants to talk about AMC. So
yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean,
so that might be why.
You're not being a shill. It's in their reports, everyone that they've put out, what their timeline is. So that is a fact.
And of all tickers, HYMC would be the one that has the closest association besides APE to AMC. So if you're going to talk about anything, I would think Highcroft would be what you'd be aiming for, right?
Aiming for as far as what?
Shoot, now I'm reading BTW's comment back to me. What he's aiming for, what was I saying? Aiming for his content to stay just about AMC and APE, right? So I think if he was to bring another ticker in.
Yeah, BTW is saying people in the comments were calling him a shill.
Gotcha.
Hey,
okay.
Look, there are people misleading people on thousands of tickers daily, BTW,
every day,
that get overhyped on stuff, talking about things based on optimism instead of facts. And you can be optimistic about something and still talk about the facts. And that does not make you a shill. I'm optimistic for Highcroft. I have it as a speculative play. That's how I label it, right? But because it is speculative, I'm not going to overweight it. I'm not going to overpay for it. I'll buy it on dips. And hey, if other people want to run it up on a little bit of news, I'll sell into that. And I'll do that on a lot of different tickers, not just Highcroft. You'll know when good news comes out on Highcroft because it will take off like a rocket in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those bars will be boom, boom, like candles.
A tweet from Adam Aaron saying that, there's gold in them there hills, or we're releasing an NFT. That is not going to do it for me. I still own Highcroft. I have calls on it also, but I also, wear the mask of reality. I'm not easily persuaded by tweets.
Yeah. Or Reddit for that matter anymore.
I can read the annual reports for all the due diligence I need in the surveys that Highcroft has published. That's the reality, not a tweet.
Yeah, BTW. I don't think I wouldn't worry about that. Honestly, man, you got to brush stuff like that just right off your shoulders, right? People are going to talk shit about you all the time, every day. I still get every video without failure. I get at least 9 dislikes per video without failure.
Hey,
What?
you weren't here last night when I published the FTD chart for APE
Uh-huh. Yeah.
with no opinion or commentary. I just said, hey,
Here it is.
APE FTD update, 392,000 on the last day. And half the responses were, quit pumping this stock. And the other half said, quit being a shill. You're paid by the hedgies.
You can't
like,
win
what
sometimes, right?
I'm just, I'm posting a fucking data chart with no commentary or opinion. And half the people hate me for different reasons. I mean, you literally can't worry about what people say, BTW. You can just talk about your truth. Your truth might be emotional and, you know, you really want something to happen, and your truth might be you're a data and facts guy. Those two are never going to meet. You're never going to convince someone that is up here. You know, it's like being in two political parties, but as long as we all have the same goal, we can still exist in the same reality.
Yes. Yes. By the way, I want to say CSI just came in the comments. CSI, congratulations on 10,000 subs, man. Congrats.
Hey, I didn't
That
see
is
that.
phenomenal.
Congrats. I did watch his Highcroft video though.
I did too.
Yep. So good luck on your call, CSI. I have some too. Let's make some money. I hope we get a few more days of green.
Yeah, it'd be nice to
Sufyan
have
in
a
the
run,
house.
right?
What's up, Sufyan? How do you think Adam Aaron clicked up with the Highcroft in the first place? So I posted something in March that I think he was, some of y'all aren't going to like this, sorry, but I think he was
Looking for news.
I think he was brought in March to leverage his relationship with retail because Highcroft was in desperate need of money. And who was it that had the bulk of the loans for Highcroft? Was that Mudrick?
Yes.
So
Mudrick Capital.
Highcroft was at the point of, you know, needing to raise money or they were not going to make it another year. And so they gave Adam Aaron a sweet deal on shares and warrants. And they probably gave him a fairly optimistic, like we think we can, you know, if we find gold, we can probably 5x your investment.
Right.
And he's like, all right, I'll take the gamble.
Yes, that's what I think. And I think that they might have leveraged Adam Aaron a little bit because of that relationship from the past. And, you know, like you said, his ability to get retail involved in things. And look, you can be talking about speculation down for 4 years from now or 2 weeks down the road, just based off many different things that could happen in the running up to the election next couple of weeks. So no matter what your plans are for HYMC, whether you're a long-term investment like Pam said, or you're just looking to get in and out, what are you laughing at? What did I say?
Yuka Frida's comment.
What do you say? Yuka, where is
Diane's a gold digger. I think it's a
money.
play on words.
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. But, you know, she's playing it up with the APE pictures and all that. Like, you know, she's doing her thing and she's doing what she's supposed to be doing as a CEO, you know. Again, she's trying to bring her company back.
24 The Money says the board of directors would have had to green light the Highcroft investment. That's probably true. And that I think that they were probably presented a compelling set of expectations for what that mine can do. And so for that reason, I don't think AMC is just going to piss away $50 million, right? I think that the board of AMC and Adam Aaron have a reasonable expectation to make a return on that money. For that reason, I'm willing to buy a Highcroft when it meets my price targets. which is as cheap as possible.
I think it's a hard price right now to go wrong with Highcroft.
Yeah, the only, I think, 50, 60 cents, the only way you can go wrong is if they never find gold.
That's it. That's the only way you can probably lose your entire investment. Other than that, you should be just fine as long as you don't have anywhere to go. Alan, yes. Listen, forum. We just got to hold on for 24 hours. I'm trying to keep Tony monetized.
JK says, but why
He's
AMC?
my partner still.
Right? Why AMC? Who was the other guy's name? The gold investor. They brought more money in from him too. His name's escaping. Yeah, Eric Sprott.
Yep.
He plunked down some more money too
recently, didn't he? Oh, he did. Okay, I thought. Okay, yeah. All right. I could be wrong. I thought he just.
He did.
It's the other way around.
He sold some.
Okay.
He put money in when Adam Aaron didn't. He has subsequently sold some of his. That is true.
Got it.
CSI says he's trying to get the CEO of GTII on live tomorrow. That would be sweet.
What's your thoughts, CSI, on GTII? Is it dead play? Change our mind. Someone was just saying that Finger was a dead play and that GTII didn't have another run in it again. We're just wondering what your thoughts would be on that. Is it 2 for the money or 20 for the money? Settle this now for my sanity. 2 for the money. 2 for the money. Yeah, right. With Matthew McConaughey and Al Pacino about the gambler, the sports gambler.
Probably is 2 for the money. I always say 20 for the money.
Do you? Yeah, I think it's 2 for. Shit, I could be wrong. I am in Yakuza as well. Sometimes we get wrong with the English translation thing.
Give me 1 second.
CIA, Yakuza.
I'm pulling up the AMC ownership and Highcroft real quick. Institutional ownership. Someone asked, is it 22% or 11 and 11? I'm going to just double check one more time.
No, it's 22% and then 22% are warrants, right?
I think that is correct. But before I say something wrong, because you know how people love to yell at us if we get something wrong. So Eric Sprott currently owns 19 million shares, down from 23.4 million. AMC owns 46 million shares, but I think that is 23 million plus 23 million warrants.
Correct. I believe so. Yeah. Pretty sure. So CSI, you think it's going to squeeze to the 100s? Well, maybe I should pick up some calls then. Shit.
The 46 million shares gives us a total ownership of 21%.
So who would be majority shareholder at that point?
Mudrick owns 31%.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, you gotta keep that in the back of your mind with the Mudrick connection, right? Man, Mudrick has just been sticking it to us, huh? I mean, they really better have bailed AMC out back in the day because they have gotten some sweet deals. I tell you, Mudrick, like the short Mudrick. What does that say?
They were asking Scarlett last night if they ever made a movie about the meme stocks. Who did she want to play Tony Denaro? And she's like, I don't know.
Who'd she pick?
Danny DeVito.
Might be a little tall, bro. Danny DeVito. I don't know if you could pull that. And a little skinny.
Someone said that in the comments of my video. I thought that was pretty funny.
Jeez.
She didn't know who to pick. She doesn't follow actors enough to know.
Alec Baldwin would be good, Pam. Yeah, you could play Tony.
I'm a nobody. I won't be in any movie. Trust me.
Yeah, touche. Don't expect to see Massalorian in any movies. until this thing pops, until AMC pops, then I might do something crazy, go viral on a live stream. Who knows? But right now, there is no fast track to fame for Massalorian or Tony. I wonder how the Mullen brothers are doing on the AMC documentary. I wonder what they're doing. I should send them an email and check. I talked to them a long time ago, back in right before the run up in June of 2021. Haven't spoken to them since then. I should send them an email just to see where they are. Wow, Tom Sizemore, that could work. Tom Sizemore could work, absolutely. Yeah, I would like to send them an email and find out. You know who I'm talking about? The Mullins brothers, who were doing the documentary. No.
Oh,
Okay.
the GameStop documentary.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Rumble? Are you in Rumble, Massalorian?
No, but I'm about to switch over to that platform, or at least to add myself to that platform.
It had a
There's
beautiful
Russell Brand
run
on it
up.
now.
Had a beautiful run up after they did that SPAC merger, and it's currently ran up from 10 to $17 I'm not looking at after hours. I'm just looking at the daily. Currently sitting at 1348. I can tell you, as a user of Rumble, it's not quite as nimble and easy to use as YouTube, but I'll give them a pass, being a relatively new company. And in a couple of years, that could be a good play.
Absolutely. I think as you see things continue to narrow down on YouTube and people being demonetized and people having, these Wikipedia or Encyclopedia Britannica notes put up on their screen. I don't need people to explain to my viewers what they're watching. I can explain to them fine. I don't need YouTube stepping in. And I feel like that is going to drive creators away as time goes on. Man, I wish Rogan had spotted on with Rumble instead of Spotify. Damn.
I also don't like that I have to pay as a content creator to post videos on Rumble.
Right. That's an issue.
Like, why?
They got to fix that. Yeah.
There's just a couple things I'm not exactly thrilled about it. I think are harming their potential growth, but I think they will get that resolved. And I see every day somebody talking about, I'm leaving YouTube. I'm tired of being censored, tired of being demonetized, going strictly to Rumble. They're going to get big enough at some point that YouTube's going to need to make some changes. But yeah, I mean, buy it on dips, and I think that's another good speculative play.
What's going on, Stevie S? Thank you, friend. Appreciate you. Dutch says, I agree. They're mobile. Dutch. No, it's Dylan. I agree. Their mobile app is not up to par. Yeah. So there's a couple things they got to work on, right? But I really think you're going to see a lot of social media change as people get away from mainstream media and mainstream news. They're going to be looking for alternatives, and it's all going to depend on who's going to allow people to speak, who's going to give them the open platform. And I think you will see a rush into wherever that starts to branch off to, so just give it some time, right? Give it some time.
Brian Hunn, thank you. Brian wants to give a shout out to Aaron Judge hitting his number 62 home run, breaking the single season American League home run record.
Wow.
Congrats to Aaron Judge and New York Yankees fans.
Yeah, Yankee just beat out a Yankee. So is he any chance to catch Bonds, Sosa, or McGuire? No, right?
I don't know.
No, it must be like almost the last day of the year right now. God, I'm not even keeping up with baseball. I have so much going on with this freaking house.
Yeah, of all the sports I watch, baseball is probably... Well, I watch more baseball than basketball.
Okay. I'm probably more of a football fan than anything. I also love ice hockey, but I wear the baseball cap because it's the only hat that actually any of the teams actually wear. Red Sox are the only team that actually wears the cap I'm wearing. So I think other hats kind of look, I mean, besides your hat, don't get me wrong. The hat you have on right now is something totally on another level. But most
CSI.
hats, I like to have them for an actual team. Good.
CSI that says the Kramer brothers are shorting GTII. I heard people talking about that on live streams today. I haven't seen the due diligence behind it, but I have heard people say that.
Saying
Galen,
that Citadel is
no,
shorting
the
GTII.
Kramer brothers, Jim
Oh.
Kramer and his brother is what they
Oh.
were saying.
Okay.
I didn't even know Jim Kramer had a brother, but
I didn't either.
Galen says when AMC pops, I want to see Tony naked. I did promise, you know, I have the Hulk Hogan outfit. Some of y'all were wondering, why is he dressed up as Hulk Hogan? Yeah, there was a time where we were thinking a run up was going to happen, and I said I would literally rip my shirt. I don't know about if Scarlett would approve running around butt naked, but might be able to hire some scantily clothed models for the background.
Could do that. Can you pull up G Immortal's question real quick? He's asking about some shit. This is the one thing that's not good about not having control, is how fast these go by.
Yeah,
I missed it.
I'm still at like ones from 3 minutes ago. I'm scrolling down trying to find it. GM Mortal.
Yeah.
GM Mortal. This one?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I had a comment on that too. Go ahead.
So my thoughts on EV, that's one of the, besides AMC and APE, it's like, and GME. Actually, I shouldn't say that because GME, I did dump some. Are the only stocks I haven't sold are my alternative fuel and charging positions. Those are the only things that I have not had to sell off in the last 6 months, just to clear up some capital. So my long-term position is, no matter what, people are going to be forced into some type of getting used to this. So I know not everyone has $70,000 right now for a Tesla, but this change is coming, and look to the companies that are going to start to have revenue in perpetuity, right? Like a ChargePoint, like some of the other charging companies out there that are going to be constantly have money flowing in, with very little overhead and very little maintenance and work that's going to have to be done on these machines, especially if we get to a point where the technology is we don't have to use plugs anymore, and we can just drive into a spot, pull over it, and like that company that Ideanomics owns, I believe it's called Waze, where you just pull over the port. That's already in the works. They already got that in California right now. If anybody out there knows the transportation system, there's one of the big ones, I think up in maybe Sacramento area, that those are already in place for the buses and some of the larger vehicles they're using for mass transportation up there. So that technology is coming. Look into companies like that are doing that. Look into farming companies that are doing electrical vehicles, electrical tractors, things like that. I think this is going to come down hard and furious across the board. So anything like that.
I was going to add, when I was talking about Mullen, when we were talking about that an hour ago, you might have seen this about Toyota saying that they have no real intention to ramp up their EV production, even though they have the coming mandates from California and possibly New York and other states that are following California's lead. Toyota's kind of like, we have our business plan, and we don't think that the electrical grid is ready, and we don't know that people are really ready to adopt EVs despite all the mandates. So that's another interesting take on it from a major player in the market.
For sure.
Shimmer says, let me put this comment up. Do you think the run up today on APE was due to the fact that Adam Aaron had it unloaded enough shares to pay off the 2024 debt? I don't think he could have sold 425 million in a week. No. When we were talking about last night on the live stream, December 2020 to January 2021, it took them 6 weeks to unload 300 million shares. And the volume on APE has not really been that high, although they could be selling some off the market. So we're not seeing the volume, but I think it's going to take a couple months at this price for them to unload what they want without driving the price down below $1. I think we've had 2 days of green in the market, big money coming back in for whatever reason. Insert conspiracy theory here, broadly across the entire market, and some recent shorts, people that were shorting at current prices on a lot of stocks got knocked out of their positions out of nervousness that the green days are going to continue. So that's what I think happened.
In the someone in the chat just asked what was the name of that that company. So it's Wave Wireless Charging Solutions. WAVE is the company, and that falls under IDEX's ticker.
Steven Siebert, I said there's not going to be any more warnings. We will take care of you after the live stream's over. Please quit disrupting the stream. We've got the message, all right? You're just being...
Steven.
It's being disruptive, and that is your final warning, or you're going to be permanently blocked. We'll take a look after the stream's over.
Yeah, you got my word on that.
Come on. We try and be nice, but if you're going to be disruptive to the chat, you will be removed permanently.
Did he just make another comment?
Yes. He's bitching at the mods.
I was just praising my mods last night. I think my mods do an amazing job.
There's nothing we can do while we're running a live stream to go unblock somebody. So just give it a rest.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult to jump all through these hoops to get to where we need to be to do that, Steven. Just understand that. It's not out of laziness. It'll take me 2 seconds to do it when I can get to it.
All right. I'm trying to put up this comment. Real Rugged says, I believe he's trying to get APE sold by the November earnings. That I agree with that. I think he...
You think that? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to disclose how many shares were sold at the next quarterly update, which is 30 days from now. And that would give him about 6 weeks to unload shares. So very good theory, Rugged. Crystal says apes have to stay persistent and respond to the FOMO and continue to say loud and clear, we are not selling. We just have to make ourselves clear. I think, Crystal, at this point, people that believe in the company are not going anywhere, but it is very emotionally draining on everybody in any stock to deal with a 11-month bear market, with the potential of it lasting another year. So I get it. The emotions, the worry, the doubt that anybody's having in literally any ticker that you're in, watching your portfolio or your retirement money go down. And just keep in mind, if you're invested in companies with high PE ratios or companies with no earnings, they are going to be hit worse than solid profit-making companies in a bear market. So keep all that in mind. Johnny says, are you guys buying more? I've been buying, Johnny, on the dips, APE and Highcroft, and also GameStop, among other things. Some of the other more big companies that I've been buying either shares or calls, either actively buying or planning to buy, or all of the big ones. I've been adding some calls on Pfizer, and I've been watching very closely these past couple weeks, not just the momentum of the charts, but what the market is doing to get a good buy-in again on Amazon, Tesla, Google, Apple, some of these companies that I'm confident will be here and higher than they're at in 5 years. I'm not trying to pick plays to get rich next week on. I have plays that I'm working on making speculative money on, but that is not the bulk of my portfolio. So when I'm day trading or momentum trading, that is a fraction of my overall investments. Most of them I don't talk about because they're boring. No one wants to hear about buying Apple for 5 years from now. But I do always try and start off the streams by telling you guys, have a risk balanced portfolio. Don't put all your money in one or two plays. Don't have your entire portfolio invested in speculative plays. In a down market, you're going to get wiped out. Use some common sense. Use basic investing strategies. And there's no issue with having fun and playing the gamble plays. But on this channel, we're not going to be talking about doing that with your entire wad. That I want to see you guys around for the long term. I've seen so many people get blown out putting everything in speculative plays, and then especially if it's one or two of them, the play of the week, the play of the month, and they buy in thinking it's going to run up to $1,000 and it goes to $7 and then crashes back down to $1. Why APE and not AMC, Cyrus? It is my belief, this is my opinion, not financial advice, that APE and AMC fundamentally are the same unit in terms of economic value and voting power. And there is no advantage of APE over AMC. Even though APE is being diluted, they're all the same ticker. They're all the same company. They're all going to funnel down to the same financial statement. So I'm going to buy whichever one is cheaper.
Tony, do you mind? Can I see that shot glass you had one more time? That skull shot glass?
Okay. This is actually called an espresso cup.
Okay.
I have... I don't know where they went. I have some shot glasses too that are half this size. This is probably about 10 ounces.
10 ounces. Okay.
I have another one. I have a couple more. Maybe they're getting washed that are 2 ounces. They're a lot smaller than this.
Yeah. They say things are bigger in Texas, but I don't know about that. They say that, but I don't know. Let's see. How long do you see this Fed pivot lasting? Tony, Gus says, how long do you see this Fed pivot lasting? And do you think AMC reaches $10 before the rug pull? Interesting question.
I don't know that we got a formal announcement on a Fed pivot, or is he asking how long is this run up on the hopes of a Fed pivot going to last?
That's what I'm assuming he means. Yes.
I don't know. That would be speculative. I already said last night I didn't think it would last through this morning, and clearly that gut feeling was not correct. So I don't know.
Yeah.
If it continues to go for a few more days, then I would expect we're going to get a Fed announcement. Right now, I'm still viewing it as speculative.
Listening to that Wharton economist, I mean, he made a lot of sense what he was saying Friday. He just did.
Is it really KC's birthday, or are y'all pulling my leg?
Is it KC's birthday?
I don't know. They say hi to people that's not in the chat all the time. I never know what to believe.
So, Steve says, to the folks in the chat, have they discussed if today was possibly a bull trap? Thanks. Yeah, we did talk about that, right, Steve? And you did a little bit before I came on, Tony.
Yep. Yeah, several times we said that.
Yeah. Just be aware, Steve, that this can come to an end quickly and violently in more ways than one. Rico also said all-time highs in September.
Someone said Rico said we'd see lows like we're seeing. Yeah. Rico.
Oh, really is
Suave.
KT's birthday, says Yuka Frida. Oh, god damn it, Yuka. He's
I need more than 2 people to say it for me to believe it.
myself.
See, yeah,
says it could
Yuka.
be
Then
KT's
Yuka
birthday.
says hi Pantheon. See, you can't believe these guys.
Right? Yeah, I know. I know. I'm catching on. Catching on to what's going
Cancel
on.
Bubble says, why not sell your AMC and buy APE with those proceeds? Because all of my AMC is in long-term capital gains, and I don't see any need to change that. And what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong on APE and AMC being at parity? It is my opinion. It doesn't mean that I'm right. So I'm right now when I'm looking at adding between the two, I'm adding APE, but I have not changed anything in my core position, and I do not plan to.
Yes. BTW brand. Carnival has a chance to go bankrupt. Don't think in terms of long term for them while they can go under completely in short term. You guys talking about the cruise line? Yeah, you know what? I gotta be honest with you. I've only taken one cruise in my life. It was on Royal Caribbean on an Oasis class ship. I don't know that I would ever go on another cruise after you've gone on one of those ships. I don't see really the draw to any other cruise line. I really don't. I pulled into ports before and seen the Carnival ships, and they look like, a 16-foot bow rider compared to the Oasis class on Royal Caribbean. So,
Are you saying why would you go on a Carnival?
I mean, if you want to go budget, yeah, sure. If
yes,
you want to do it right,
that is why people go on Carnival. Budget.
Yeah. It's just hard once you've seen the Oasis class ships and been on one for 10 days. You're like, how would I ever go to, a bow rider?
I don't know. I mean, because it's $50 a night on Carnival. I mean,
that's true. That's the only reason I can
60, 70. I mean, I've I think I've maybe only done Carnival cruise lines. Every time I'm looking at the prices, yes, Royal Caribbean and Norwegian and all of the other ones look fantastic, like first class experience versus coach. And I generally hate Carnival cruises when they're full of kids and inexperienced tourists, but I love the price, and I'm not on the ship for that much other than sleeping or maybe a meal. So
right.
Why am I going to overpay? But if money was no object, I'd pick any other cruise line than Carnival.
So just a little side note, a couple of people I talked to are on a cruise right now going around England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland on a 10-day cruise. They've had 3 ports they can't get into because of the weather in October. 3 ports that they couldn't pull into because of weather. They had to skip Stonehenge. They had to skip, I believe Dunkirk was the other place they were going to. No, not Dunkirk. I'm sorry. Let's see. They had to miss Stonehenge, and then what is Glasgow, Scotland, not Dunkirk. Glasgow, Scotland. They had to skip 2 or 3 different stays on their trip because of the weather up there, which I thought was pretty interesting that you're seeing weather like this in September and the cruise lines are not pulling into port, which means they're fitting a lot of the bill, right, on all those drinks and food and everything else that you would normally be taking on a day off the ship. Hopefully it doesn't continue to be a trend.
Someone said Disney cruise lines are nice, clean, and good food. I think Disney's probably one of the best out there also, but also super expensive. Super expensive. But I think you get what you pay for. If you want a top-notch cruise line to take your kids on and money is no object, I'd go Disney over Carnival. How do you calculate the break-even number on options? Look, Option Strat is a great free website. Put in your ticker, put in you can use the sliders at the top to pick the expiration date. and the strike price, and it will give you a whole table down below, and you can see the break-even point. So I'm usually looking for options where I think I have a reasonable chance of making 100% gain, and without a huge move in the stock price. That for that reason, I don't buy a ton of options. You know, if I was happy with 40% gains, I would, you know, my window of options that I buy would open up a lot more. But in general, if I'm aiming for 100, sometimes I have to sell for less than that. That's fine. But that's kind of the criteria I use. So,
Did you say you use Option Strat? Is that the website?
yeah, option strat, like option strategy, but just
Strategy.
shorten it.
Yep. Yep. They got a very interesting way they chart this, huh? I don't like that.
And the another one is option profit calculator, but I've switched to use an option strat.
Someone asked about where it will be safer to live in the future.
Alaska.
No, they said United States or Europe. I would say neither. I would get out of. I would get if I had a choice right now to go anywhere, it'd be South Pacific or South America. Those are the only two places I would go. I would get and I'd hate to leave this country. They really have to do some shitty stuff to make me leave, but I've definitely.
Where in South America? There's a lot of strife in South America.
I would go somewhere, maybe Brazil. I think I would do Brazil. I know some people that have moved there. Glenn Greenwald's career is going fine. He's been in Brazil for a year since he left The Intercept. He's doing just fine for himself. Yeah, there's a big election going on right now in Brazil. You know that, right? Between Luna and Bolsonaro. The election for president. They just had an election like 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago.
I haven't been keeping up.
Yeah, I guess it's getting close to. It's very it's closer, I guess, than they thought originally, which is interesting.
Cyrus says, "What would happen? What would have to happen in the market or AMC for you convince you that the play is over?" I mean, as I've said many times, Cyrus, the quick short squeeze thesis for me, that is already over. That you had a chance to get out at 72, and we had a million catalysts thrown at us the rest of the year, theoretical, that didn't pan out. So for me, in my mind, I'm thinking now AMC is more of a long-term play, and I'm okay with that because most of my portfolio is long-term plays. And I am watching box office revenues go up, the amount of movies that they're putting out from Hollywood go up, and the AMC moving closer and closer to a profitable quarter. Now we're probably still several quarters away from a profitable quarter, and the debt has to be dealt with. So all of that being said, you know, you're going to need some sort of unknown catalyst. I don't know right now of any catalyst that I can tell you that's going to pop off a short squeeze. Do I think there's shenanigans in the market and somebody could get caught off guard on any daily, on any day that I wake up? Absolutely. I don't think anyone foresaw June 2021 that we were going to wake up that week and that this was going to pop off like that. So there could be a day when something happens, but I'm not counting on that anymore. It's moved in my book to that's a great outside gamble play, but the best chance for me to see AMC get the shorts out of the play is for the company to fix the fundamentals. That happens from increasing revenues and paying off the debt, both of which are in play. Yep. What would make me get out of the play? Probably another pandemic where they say everybody stay home.
And if that happens, there'll be a revolution, so you don't have to worry about the stock market. So don't worry about that. Hold on. Someone asked me something, a couple questions here, and I missed them. Shoot, I'm sorry, man. I just missed a couple questions. Someone asked about what do I mean fast when I said that things could go down fast. I still believe that the market right now is really, really a house of cards. I have a bad feeling about the whole thing. I don't know, just something in my gut. But I haven't unloaded anything that I think still has a potential to make money for me. So that includes AMC, APE, GME, any of the EV plays that I'm in or the charging plays that I'm in. Not too much medical. I got out of most of the pharma stuff just because I can't stand big pharma. But yeah. So someone asked about that. I hope I answered that question. It's just a gut feeling that I have that after the elections that there's just going to be a whole new. I think there's two different things you're going to see depending on what happens with the elections. There is either going to be a rapid and violent downswing, I think, in the economy, or things are going to start to move in another direction, and we might see, who knows? We might see a lot of things in November. We could see possibly they bring an end to the insider trading for Congress, and that could have an effect. And they might ban PFOF depending on who gets into office. Just all these kind of things are going to take into consideration. So stuff we can probably talk about tomorrow night.
Maggie asked, have we seen that Highcroft has been moving up? Yeah, we talked about it a couple times, Maggie. There are some of us that own shares and call options both. And I recently bought Highcroft at 63 cents. Plus, my call options are now up 85% after today's little run up. So loving the little run up. Would love to have a couple more days of green in the market. Green in the market makes shorts get out of short positions. That's what you saw in some of these stocks today. I'm not saying today was the start of a short squeeze, but anybody that was shorting in the past couple days probably got moved out of their position today. That's why some of these stocks ran much more than others on no news.
Tech We Love says, I wonder how long they can keep this pump on the stock market. I've heard that they're using the money that they say is going to Ukraine, but using the money and value for market stabilization. I don't know about that. I can't prove that, Tech We Love, but I definitely think some of that money is being funneled right out the back door.
Mass, I want to know what you're drinking.
Oh, PBR. Past Blue Ribbon.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah, you got PBR down in Texas, right?
We do. Yep.
Yeah, make sure you remember this part of the stream when I said to you earlier that things are sometimes, they say everything's bigger in Texas, that I don't know if I believe that. Remember this part of the stream. When you go back to watch the replay.
I finished all the, not the whole bottle of the Woodford, but I finished the cup, and I'm not going to do any more whiskey. So I'm on Convict Hill Stout. It's a local Texas beer.
That's pretty awesome. I'd love you to send me one of those cans.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, a full one, just so I could put it up somewhere. I like the name Convict Hill. That's great.
It is
it's
it's a small town, now more of a neighborhood on the southern side of Austin.
Okay. Yeah, we got Gallows Hill out of Salem. That was an ugly place.
It's not quite as smooth as the that double chocolate oatmeal stout I was drinking the other day.
What were we drinking? Sam Smith?
No, something bastard.
Oh.
I was going to say fat bastard, but that's not right. That's a character.
No, that's
Where's Doc Zeno when you need him?
Where's Zeno? It looks like I was drinking from a giant skull. No, Tony has the skull glass.
Founders is what it was. Founders. Founders has another stout called Dirty Bastard. That's what I was getting confused on. Have you ever had Founders?
No. Is that Texas beer?
I don't think so, because
Okay.
I've seen people in our Discord posting Founders pictures all the time. It's good stuff. If you see it in the store, grab you a 4-pack.
Yes. That sounds good. I definitely want one of those cans, though, if you remember.
Yeah, I'll send you one.
Oh, ODB. No, Yukifruta. It's not ODB ODB beer. That's a rapper from the Wu-Tang. Come on.
Gus says today's run was if someone, I know people want me to say plunge protection team, had unlimited amounts of money to throw in the market today. So I don't know. I don't know about the plunge protection team. I know they exist. Maybe they kicked something off. It doesn't, all you got to do is change the algo. You got to input to change the direction of things, and then money flows. But I was going to look up before the live stream today, what was the total billions or trillions of dollars that went into increasing equities today, and where did that money come from? It is a good question I was thinking about, but I don't think that our government just injected billions of dollars buying up every ticker.
I mean, where would that money come from? Could that be part of the
taxpayers?
2.3 trillion?
Well, I mean,
2.3 trillion missing.
Theoretically, the plunge protection team has access to a slush fund. No, that's real.
I know.
But
I'm reading a comment.
Oh, but it does, they don't need to buy everything. All they got to do is change the direction, and then the algos take over from there.
David D. Great says it's a San Diego beer. Yes, I know. That's what I was thinking he was saying. Yes, that's what I thought he was referring to, was a San Diego beer. That's what I remember. And I remember Fat Tire and Stone. There were a couple when I lived out in San Diego. I used to drink all the time. Stone Pale Ale.
I like Fat Tire.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yep. Liked a lot of those. Green Flash was one of the brewing companies that was out there. I liked Green Flash. Is pretty good. Brooklyn Brewery is one of my favorites. Someone was talking about censorship and Elon. Someone asked, if we were shutting down the talk. First of all, I've never removed anyone from speaking. And if I was Elon Musk, we wouldn't be doing this live right now, right? So I am neither Elon nor have I ever taken anyone down from the channel. Strictly a mods thing. And I give most of them free range to do that, and they usually know how to keep it in check. I felt they did a pretty fair job about that across the board for all of them. Lifted Kilt. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Keystone Beer for me, says Dark Latin. What is Lone Star still a beer that's actually in Texas right now? Lone Star, they still make that?
When we were talking about PBR, I said on the weeks where it's a bad week in the market and I feel like I need to cut back on my budget, Scarlett's ordering Patron or what's that cinnamon one that she drinks? The Fireball. And I'm getting a 16-ounce Lone Star for $1.99.
Really? Yeah.
I never enjoy it.
No.
It tastes horrible, down. But I have a drink in my hand, so she doesn't feel like I'm making her drink alone. This is like when we're out, at the country western place or wherever we're at. Yep. But that is a rarity. But if it's been a particularly brutal week in the market, I'll downgrade to Lone Star. It's our version of PBR.
Lone Star is the official beer of Texas, says BBD.
There's a drink called Suffering Bastard, Pam says.
I probably made one of those for Pam at the La Jolla Marriott when she was doing her salsa. I bet you I did.
If all of you guys are salsa dancers, what we should do after the next run up is book the next salsa cruise. Yeah, and go on that. But don't come alone if you're single. I mean, if you're with someone and you're not married yet, I'm just saying, don't come alone.
Yeah.
Bring your significant other or don't go.
Jesse Matthews He says best place is New Zealand. Jesse, she doesn't scare you at all down there with the way she talks. She scares the shit out of me, bro. I would stay far away from. Nothing against New Zealand. Kiwi girl is my homie. I love her. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be in a rush to get down there with that prime minister. She seems
Natty
like she wants me to
Light.
clamp down. Natty Light. Yes. Yes. It's a couple, man. That was the college days. Natty Light was cheap. That was the only 30-pack you could buy, was less than $20. Or less than $10, I think, back in 2002, 2003, right?
Yep. Six Sun says merengue music for me. That was when I very first got introduced to Latin music. Six Sun, not counting Tejano music. When I got introduced to merengue and salsa, I had no clue what I was doing with salsa. But merengue is fairly easy to pick up, so it always has a soft spot in my heart.
Sucks. I went to all those salsa lessons and never got to do any of the dancing. All I did was sling drinks all night because it was so busy. You know, you've never.
You were a bartender?
Yeah. Oh,
I thought you were like at the thing to
No,
dance.
I was working there. That's what I mean. I served Pam drinks, I'm sure. Like, I probably met Pam in the past because I worked there for 3 years as a bartender. Yeah. I'm sure we've seen each other in person maybe 15 years ago.
You know what we just started watching on Netflix is, what's that guy's name? Vicente Fernandez, his life story.
Who's that?
Have you heard of? He's a very famous Tejano. I don't know if you would call him a mariachi singer, but he's an older gentleman now. I think he's still alive.
Okay.
But it's his life story. I've known of him as long as I've been in Texas.
Okay.
And he's got a phenomenal voice. He's well loved in the Tejano community, and he started out at a very young age as, you know, loving to sing. I'm only on episode 1, so I don't know his whole life story, but I'm looking forward to getting to know it. And Scarlett's like, "You've heard of him?" I'm like, yeah. If you've been in Texas and been around anybody that likes Tejano music, you know who Vicente Fernandez is.
Yeah, never heard of him. I've heard people telling me, everyone that I've spoken to recently, anything that about Netflix has said watch Dahmer. So I'm good. Oh, he passed away. Someone just said. Felix just said he passed away.
Yeah, I missed that. We
There's
had a
Dr.
Selena.
No.
We had a Selena night the other night where we, for some reason, Selena popped up in my music suggestions from YouTube, and we spent an hour reliving all of Selena's life. I loved her music too.
Yeah. Pretty girl too, right? Way too young to die.
Yep. I remember exactly where I was when I heard the news. It's like a couple things I remember. I remember when the shuttle blew up. I remember where I was exactly. Remember where I was on 9/11. And I remember where I was when Selena died.
Those 3 things, really? I remember the shuttle blowing up. I know where I was when the market crashed. I know where I was on 9/11. Or that Tuesday, really. What was it? September 29th, 2021 was like the real day, right? September 29th for the market. 2021, sorry, 2008. September 29th was like the big day, right? When Lehman checked out, everyone checked out, right? Yep. Kirsha, good morning. Just waking up. Yeah, so he passed away, Tony. So unfortunately, that's sad. So he was a mariachi singer, a Tejano.
Well, he usually sang, like, he was singing by himself. I don't know. I haven't watched him live, and there probably was a band in the background, but usually he's standing by himself, but he's wearing the full mariachi outfit with the, the black outfit with the big hat, with all the everything, all the decorations on the outfit. I don't know what they call it. But I mean, you don't need to like mariachi music or Tejano music to appreciate his talent. You should check him out.
Yeah, I'm gonna, definitely.
And it so far on episode 1 of the show, it seems to be pretty well done.
Yes. Selena's last name was not Gomez. What was her last name?
Somebody's pulling your leg.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of her real name. Selena, what was her last name?
Quintanilla, I think.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. Yeah, something. Quintana?
Quintanilla.
Quintanilla?
Yeah.
Okay.
The funny thing was when we were doing the retrospective on Selena, I realized that I missed out on like she started at a very young age, and we were going through all of her first albums, and there was so much of her music that I didn't know. I didn't really get to know her till she hit main radio pop culture type music. So I don't know, early 90s, but she had been making music for many years before that. Are you still alive? Yeah. All right. You were so
here.
frozen.
Yep, sorry.
But after listening to some of her earlier stuff, I don't know that I would have been a fan on the earlier stuff. She was very, very Tejano in her music. And then she spiced it up a little bit, and that's when she went more mainstream.
So can you give me a definition of Tejano? Does that just mean Mexican person of Mexican origin living in Texas?
I mean, there's a style of dress and a style of singing. It's a lot of cumbia type music.
Okay. So it's cultural.
Yeah. But I mean, she had much more traditional haircut and costumes, very Tejano.
Okay.
And then she went a little more mainstream, a little more edgy, and still played a lot of cumbia music, but with more upbeat, relevant lyrics, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she definitely changed her image in the early 90s. And that's when she went over the top. It was a maturing process too. She was very young in the early years too. Her voice and her whole presentation just improved every year that she did it.
Yuka says, Mass, do you know Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch?
They're from your area, right?
They have. And I've actually been to a few weddings that they've been at. So I've met them many times. Definitely bigger fan of Donnie than Mark, for sure. Mark's a little pompous. Donnie's a little more down to earth. That I can tell you. Clark just jumped in. He was asking, Clark, how you doing tonight? Asking about, by the way, say hi to Julie for us. He was asking about Credit Suisse being short on AMC. I didn't see anything on that. Did you?
Well, I mean, we wouldn't know who's short, right? Because it's not reported.
Yeah. So where did that report come from that Credit Suisse is short on AMC? Where would that have even come from?
I don't know.
By the way, I saw someone talking about the digital dollar. Again, tomorrow night we can talk about that. If I go digital dollar, I'm going deep. So
I did talk about it briefly. I don't know if you were on when I was talking about CBDC.
No, did you? No, I missed that.
I said I'll put money on it. If you want to put money on it, that's cool. 2025 at the soonest, if they ever do it.
2025.
I'm not signing up for all these people saying, they want to steal all your money next year. Not going to happen. Too complicated, too complex.
Got to be before 2024. Whoever's in power right now cannot afford to lose power. The only way they hang on to that,
I'll between now and 2024. You want to bet a 6-pack of Convict Hill?
If we're still alive,
I don't think they have the competency to do it.
To implement it?
Yes, I get the whole reason why they would want to do it, and it scares me to death. I don't think they have the competency to pull it off without wrecking the banking system.
Okay. I don't know
But yes,
where, I don't know what,
everything you're worried about and everything that you're saying they want to do, that scares me to death. And I don't disagree with it. I just don't think they can fundamentally do it as fast as everybody's thinking they can. Certainly not going to be next year.
if they haven't already started working on it, you probably got a good point. If they
They
have,
have started working on it.
I mean, like really getting, getting the infrastructure set down so that it can be a thing where they switch it on and overnight. I'm saying if they get it set up to that point, I don't know who's saying that they haven't had this in the works all along for years now.
They have.
Because everyone who's pushing this, I'm just saying. So you're saying that it's been in the plan and in the works for years, and you think they'll wait till the last minute to try to drop it on the
No,
American people?
I think that the deeper they dig into it, the more they realize how complex it is and how they could fundamentally screw up the entire U.S. banking and financial system. And there's going to be some people slowing it down. I don't think that there might be some people pushing for exactly what you're suggesting, but I think there are also some cautionary people who understand how it could totally wreck the banking system in the US, including the small regional banks. It will wipe them off the map.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm trying to base this off fact as much as possible, and just going back to history. The Book of Revelation, the Bible. They talk about the mark of the beast, not being able to buy or sell. Sounds pretty familiar to me.
I get it. I mean, I understand. I've heard all of that. I get it. I'm worried about it too. And we should be, allowing governments to control every aspect of your finances. You absolutely should be worried about it. I'm just not worried about it in the next 12 months, not in the next 2 years even. And we're going to be keeping a close eye on it on this channel. I'm not ignoring it. I'm not downplaying it. I'm just saying it's not going to happen next year. There's people talking about it happening in a couple months.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't agree.
Okay. All right.
But we all have the same goal, for them not to do it, right?
Yes.
I'm not in favor of it.
Yeah. It's funny. Every time that we start talking over each other, then we try to stop. It goes silent for like 60 seconds because we're like trying to give the other person an edge to speak. And then all of a sudden we're both like,
The Beast was not part of Mark and the Funky Bunch.
No, he wasn't. The Beast.
It's funny because I think everybody thinks that all of us YouTubers agree about everything.
No. But most of the time we agree on a lot of things. There's a few things we don't agree on.
Yeah,
but
there's a few things that I don't agree with everybody in the YouTube community. But I mean, there's a lot of things I do agree with them on. But I appreciate you being mature enough to have conversations about stuff and not hate me.
It's the only way this works. It's the only way this works. Got to have a mutual respect, right? And I feel like that towards all the other YouTubers out there who most of the YouTubers out there who I have a personal relationship with, or that I'm on a speaking terms with, most of those guys, I think, and I was trying to say this last night about speculation, theory, conspiracy theories, and facts, and I think we all have a little bit of a blend of that in our output, in our uploads. And it's good to have all those different perspectives and to put all the different scenarios out there. There's just a little bit of a difference with saying, coming back, see, I told you after the fact, that kind of shit. That really bugs me, right? Those type people.
It's funny because when I grew up in the corporate world, there were rarely agreeing opinions on much, but we all kind of, we coexisted, and there weren't too many enemies. But when you get into social media or politics, it's like black or white. You either love me or you hate me. There's not a whole lot of let's talk about the common ground and we can talk about the things we agree with, and we can debate the stuff we don't agree with and still be friends.
Yeah.
YouTube and social media doesn't seem to be that way anymore. It's very hard to find.
Yes. Yeah. I you know what's weird? I didn't realize before YouTube how polarized the two parties were. I never realized we were that far off. I really didn't.
Oh, well,
I never paid that
to
much
live
attention.
you need to live in a city where you're the political minority party.
Right. Right. Which I don't know. I mean, in Boston, it was just, I don't know. It seems like everyone grew up Democrat, right? That was just it. There was no way around that. But like I said, I've never voted before. And I don't know that I would ever vote for someone. They'd really have to earn my vote for me to go and actually pull up. Be enough to take my wishes to DC. Because so far they've done a shit job on it. I promise you that.
Let's talk about Andrew's comment. I saw the Guess Who Tom Zazzulo video. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news.
His drones flew in.
The clickbaiter of the year, Tom Zazzulo. Breaking news that Credit Suisse is now the 5th largest volume trader of AMC in the dark pool. Guys, guess what Tom Zazzulo did not tell you? This fucking clickbaiter. He didn't tell you that last week they were the 3rd largest, and the week before they were the 2nd largest. Why? Because he doesn't know how to do due diligence, and he just wants your clicks, and you guys need to stop watching that bullshit.
That's where that came from? This Credit Suisse report?
Yeah. Look, guys, there are a bunch of market makers managing trades in the dark pool. I've shown you the links a dozen times of where to go get the data on FINRA. It's no secret. Tom didn't even bother to do the bare minimum of due diligence work and tell you, I don't know, the last 6 weeks of where Credit Suisse is, but I did. This is clickbait nonsense. It's irrelevant.
You know,
cares?
He's one of the only guys who didn't go to Kansas City for that trip and still bowed out back then that I can remember. That was that huge. He's the only one that I can think of. He does
the bare minimum to pull something that's just got one keyword that's relevant in that day to get paid. That's all he does. I don't even bother to watch his channel, but sometimes people send me stuff and it takes me 60 seconds.
Yeah, because you just never know, right?
No, it takes me 60 seconds to blow out of the water whatever his latest video is. It's like he puts in minimum effort. It's a complete waste of time.
Right. But what I'm saying is you just never know when someone said something like that. You just check up on it because you just never know. Maybe there is some nugget of truth in there or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what he's counting on. He's looking for the buzzword of the day to get people to click.
Yeah. JK, he said paid how much? $6. He wasn't making me and Tony money. He was making big money on YouTube. Big money. He was getting 40, 50,000 views an upload back in before the run up last year. He was making big money. I remember checking his social blade being like, whoa.
He's I try and call out very few people by name, but he's one that's like, I have a on my Discord. I'll say, I'll call him out. Do not even waste your time. I'll say it on this channel. His channel is a waste of time. You get nothing, 99% inaccurate information. And I'm sorry to say that, but I've not looked into one video he's done that stood up to any scrutiny.
I can't second that just because I haven't seen all of the drone footage he's collected from the Tesla plants, but just off a gut feeling. You never seen that before? That he says he has a fleet of drones that he uses to infiltrate different companies to get information? Yeah, it's pretty wild. What's going on with what's Poseidon? I'm sorry. I keep saying this in the comments about Poseidon. Poseidon apparently is this nuclear or tsunami armament that Russia has deployed. I saw something about this earlier today. What was it? Something about a tsunami, but it was a bomb, right? You know what
I don't know.
I'm talking about? Oh, let me look at this. Poseidon. Putin may test underwater nuke 150 times stronger than Hiroshima bomb near Ukrainian border. What Russia's Poseidon nuclear torpedo? Can it cause nuclear tsunamis? Man, just everyone is. I mean, the rhetoric here is just way over the top for me. I've never seen people throwing around the word nuclear so nonchalant before in my life. These idiots in DC with the comb overs and the glasses and the cheap suits. It's like, man, just going from Antony Blinken to Jake Williams to all these clowns. I mean, someone said about that North Korea would be a very safe place to move if shit hits the fan. Considering we just signed a an extension on our long history of allyship with North Korea, according to the vice president, yeah, that might be a good place to go in the future, since they're one of our strongest allies in the region, according to Kamala. My God. Did you see her say that North Korea were about North Korea? What she said?
I would never move to North Korea.
No. But did you see what Kamala said about
No.
that they're one of our biggest allies in the region? She clearly
She
meant to
must
say
have
South
meant
Korea.
she must have meant South
course.
Korea, right?
Of course. But she just kept right on going without missing a beat. She just kept on, and we're working on it today and tomorrow, and we got to work on it today and tomorrow. And
I see Doc Zeno's in the chat. He heard us talking about Founders Beer, and like a siren, he came running to the chat.
His ears were ringing.
Your ears were burning, huh, Doc?
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right, so we're about to come up with the 3:30 mark, T. I don't know what your plan was, but it's 12:30 here, and I still haven't showered or anything. I got to do that.
Oh,
I literally came in
right.
soaking wet from walking
Let's
outside.
give it
I'm not kidding.
7 more minutes so we can call it a solid 3 hours.
Sounds good.
Last chance to get in. Last chance to get in questions, compliments, or insults.
Starting with insults, please. Let's get them out of the way.
Yes. Let's see who else we can ban tonight.
By the way, thank you to everyone last night. By the way, thank you to everyone last night who went and watched the video, who liked it, who commented on it. I've been meaning to say that tonight. I got like 3,000 views and 400 likes, and I don't even have the buttons to put those emojis in anymore. So thank you guys for all of you who did that. I appreciate it.
Thank you all for hanging out tonight for some stock talk, some politics talk. What else did we talk about?
We talked about Nord Stream, alcohol. Yep. 9/11.
9/11. Sorry about the 9/11 divergence. We'll try not to do that too often.
Yeah. Like once every 20 years.
I think that's fair game for individual live streams, but we'll try and not do a whole lot of that on the collabs.
Yeah, not on the collabs. I can't afford to put Tony's channel at risk like that, guys. I'm different. It's for me, this is, it's do or die. But for Tony, he's, it's not fair for me to do that to his live stream. So
C Hill or Chill says, you guys are shills. I enjoy the show. What's up for tomorrow? I got all 3 inches. Wait, I got all 3 in. Sorry.
All 3 in. I got all 3 inches.
Well, he put a period after it, so I was confused. All 3. We got what? Highcroft, AMC, and APE. Is that what we are hoping that tomorrow is another green day. I would love to see the market continue for the next week. Let's see real quick what the futures look like. Red. So right now, the Dow, the S&P, and NASDAQ are red. In Asia, we got the Nikkei up and Shanghai down. So I guess we'll have to wait a few hours and see what Europe wakes up and does. The DAX is unchanged. FTSE's green. I think, we have a shot of having green day tomorrow. We got a shot. But I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Somebody said, "Hey, don't talk about politics. I'll lose all my subscribers." Yeah, that's a risk I'm going to have to take for the next couple of weeks coming up to the election. It's a risk I'm willing to take. If you guys
Even
want to talk
worse,
about
I
it,
mean, if you say something they don't like, they'll ban you for a week. I mean, it is the reality we live with.
yeah, I just got to be careful with my words. That's all.
They being YouTube.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, the chat, they can't do anything about the chat. So, and that's really all I'm concerned about, because I can control what I say. It would be other people, right, that I would be worried about getting the channel taken down. But since that's not going to affect anything, and I think everything's fair game. So, I just think there's a lot of work, and I think we're in a fight right now in the country, and we're going to talk about it. So that's it.
Dark Latin says he needs to recommend Vikram Vedha. Is that a real movie? I don't know what to believe in the chat anymore.
Vedha.
I did see a movie that had subtitles. That might be it.
I don't remember. Was Slumdog Millionaire in subtitles? I think it was, right? And I loved that movie. Loved Slumdog Millionaire. I think that was subtitles, right? No, maybe it wasn't. Chat, remind me, was Slumdog Millionaire subtitles?
I can't remember.
I can't either. Good night, Pam. Thanks, darling, as always.
Diamond Gal says, so much fun. I watch Mass and Tony and Scarlett. Scarlett with her twice a year appearance. That
was good that you got her on last night, though. That was good.
I'm gonna see if I can get her on more often, and especially for a bingo night one weekend, Scarlett and Alex bingo night, and we'll get your Alex.
Yeah.
What's her name? Alexandra. Or?
Alex. Yeah, we're trying to get Alexandra. Yeah. Yep. Trying to get Alexa.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we will work on that. Speaking of which, I gotta call her.
Hey,
pick my phone up and call this week. Yeah.
Someone said I need to get a sombrero next live stream. Yeah, I need to go find a good mariachi sombrero. That is a good idea, JK.
So are you just gonna keep switching hats up until Halloween, or?
I just started wearing hats because people were making comments about my costumes, so I'm just leaning into it. They want something to talk about. I'm going to give them something to talk about. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yes, that's right. Someone asked if that's a bug zapper in the background. I don't even know if I can change the color from. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, no, that's my on-air sign that needs clearly to be diffused a little bit. It's a little too bright for this camera.
Slumdog was subtitled, BTW says.
Thank you. And I think it won Best Picture, so there's no doubt that could be a good movie.
Thank you, Adria. Yeah, I need to watch that one again. I barely even remember the storyline.
Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah, it's been years since that movie came out, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, that was, like late 2000s, I want to say. Yeah, it's been at least 10, 12 years. Yeah, it's been a long time.
All right, Dark Latin. I'll be honest, because I saw the subtitles thing, I just didn't even watch the previews of that. I'll check it out. Scarlett always wants to see the preview before we pick. And she got to pick the last movie, which was Don't Worry, Darling. So I get to pick the next one. We still need to see Pearl. That will be this week.
Someone's
Pimp Pat.
Someone's singing Tool lyrics.
I love it. Pimp Pat. That's another good
purple
one.
feather. There you go. That's what you need. One of those real big ones.
I do have a new one coming in the mail. That'll be here in a few days.
You do? Okay, good.
Not a Pimp Pat, but I like the ideas. Keep them coming.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Get a MAGA hat.
That might get you demonetized just doing that. That might.
Yeah.
Get a MIGA hat. A MIGA hat. MIGA. Make Italy great again. You could do that for the new Prime Minister Meloni there.
What's Alexa say about AMC? Alexa, buy 100 shares of AMC. Alexa, play. What's that?
Shipped up to Boston.
Alexa, play Baby Shark.
You have Alexa right now?
No, but people in the background do. They're probably yelling
okay.
at me right now. What does your friend Alexa say about AMC? She owns some, right?
No, my friend D from Canada does. Alexa does not. She's a realtor. So we got into the whole real estate conversation. That's how we got talking to this. And then I said, I need a female to come on to host with me. And I, feel better with you on knowing that I can, we have this communication and understanding because we've had many conversations. So we'll see what happens. Still waiting.
All right, Dark Latin. I'm gonna play the preview for her tonight and see. I'll let you know what she says next time I come on.
Vida Vikram was the name of the movie. Vida Vikram.
I don't know. Let me pull up the
That's
AMC.
Okay. I'm looking it up. Yeah, Vida Vikram. It's playing right now. We got it here at the AMC theaters. Yeah, we got it here. Yep.
It's either that or Bros, Massalorian. What are you going to watch next?
They told me not to go see Bros. They said if you're sexual, don't go see it.
Oh,
there's too many foursomes in it. The Star told me that,
Vikram,
and the Vida, and the star of the movie told me that at the VMAs.
2 hours and 2 hours and 38 minutes. I'm trying to change the subject.
Are you from Bros?
Yeah,
we'll talk. It's
2 hours and 38 minutes. Vikram Veda.
It's in the video I'm working on right now, guys. Video. It's already in the video. Don't worry. It'll be uploaded tomorrow. We can talk about bros and hoes.
Oh boy. Oh, you missed last night our pimp and hoe shot glasses too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't forget about when we go back to talk about things bigger in Texas, your shot glass. When you watch the replay, if you go back, just don't forget that time that we talked about it.
Wait, what did I miss about
shot glasses and the skull shot glasses? And I said, people say everything is bigger in Texas. Yeah. Just don't forget that.
All right.
Text me tomorrow.
I never will.
Okay. When you see it, you'll know what's happening.
Okay.
Oh boy. Chat, don't say anything. We're about to click off. We got 2 seconds.
Now I have to rewatch it. Scarlett asked me, "Did you rewatch our live stream last night?" I was like, "No, I never rewatch my live streams." Why
I know.
not?
I try not to either, but I obviously watched you guys for a little bit this morning when I got up.
Well, I watch everybody else's, but I just don't like rewatching myself.
I know.
I probably never. If I rewatch myself, I'd probably never do this again.
I know. Sometimes
I don't even know. I honestly don't know why anyone tunes in. But
I know. I felt a little nervous making an 18-minute video last night. I was like, "Whoa, this is really long." But yeah, that won't happen again. Sorry, guys.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah, and it's been a while, so I figured maybe I'll get some leniency. Yeah, Slumdog's budget was 15 million, made 378 million. Unbelievable. It's like the Blair Witch.
It's like a short squeeze.
It's like a short squeeze. Yeah, it's like a short squeeze. All right, that's a good note to end on right there. Let's stop right at that.
Thank you to the mods. Thank you to Massalorian. Thank you to each and every one of you that tuned in. Thanks for the supporters of the channel, the members of the channel. Let's see, what do I got going on tomorrow? I had 2 business meetings today, so I didn't make it on live. What a great day to have been on live today. But if tomorrow's looking spicy, I'll see you guys live during market hours. So get some rest. Have one more drink on me. Have a good night's sleep. I don't know about you, Massalorian, but allergies are kicking our ass. We've been having to Benadryl it up to get a good night's sleep around here.
Have you heard me the last couple of live streams? Like by the time we hit like 11 o'clock, I'm all nasally. Yeah. It didn't happen that much tonight. I think because it's raining. Honestly, I think that's why.
The only downside to that is
like this.
It's hard for me to get up at 4 a.m. when I'm double shotting Benadryl.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. You want to say some goodbyes?
Yes. Goodbyes to everyone tonight. Thank you for everyone who came by. Thanks for everyone who came by the channel last night and checked in with me with the new video. Tomorrow night, there'll be a video out tomorrow, and then tomorrow night will be the first solo episode 1 live stream. So we'll talk about all the nonsense tomorrow night. Not that it's nonsense, but the things that Tony doesn't like to get involved with. You can come over tomorrow night and we'll talk about them. We've got to keep this clean. So,
and I will talk about
Tony.
any of those topics with you guys off camera over a beer. Not that I don't look, I love a good discussion, believe me. Just not on YouTube.
And Freda Pinto is hot as hell, Andrew. Yes, she is smoking hot. Freda Pinto, yes. The girl from Slumdog Millionaire. Very hot. Very hot. My kind of girl. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
All right. We will see you on the next one. Have a good night, guys. Good luck
Love
tomorrow, and let's hope that this hat works for at least one more day. If not, we're going to drag Scarlett back on camera tomorrow.
All right, guys.